Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Hey guys, how does Lamont Cranston entertain his guests?
I don't know.
With shadow puppets.
Oh, of course.
Because he can do that.
What other way would you?
Yeah.
His puppets know.
Sex.
With
Sex puppets?
Sex puppets.
Sex puppets. Sex pistols.
Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
It was like a pink nightmare.
Christmas as in Yule log. Not a log, I don't have a log, but it's...
All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel, all this and more I bequeath you, my son.
Your father was Frankenstein, and your mother was the lightning.
We named the dog Indiana.
I am your father.
It's just like nasty stuff we talk about.
What?
Yeah, how do you have sex with a shadow puppet? As
don't
opposed to
you?
a regular
Very carefully.
puppet.
It's possible.
Oh, thank you, Brian. Thank you. They can't see that at home. Visually, that's very informative.
And disturbing.
Yes, but fun. Hello and welcome to Sex Pups. No. Hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of Three Geeky Dads, the show now brought to you by the new Tim Curry Safety Water Rafts, secure, high-quality rafting that makes sure we all float down here. That sounded better when I wrote it. I am Mark, and with me, as always, are the MC Hammer and Ed McMahon to my poor schmucks that went bankrupt.
And Brian.
And with us, as always, to say F you to math and the accuracy of our show title, our own wealthy young man of uptown, or about town,
About town.
Tito,
Yeah, that's
the
me.
wealthy man about town,
Yeah, I try.
about Providence.
About the
How's
city.
everybody doing?
We're doing all
Everybody
right.
feeling
Yeah.
better? Everybody, are you still under the weather? Are we?
I feel like I haven't gotten
everybody's-
right. Just
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I feel like I still...
I'm not 100%,
I'm
but
not
I'm a
all
lot
like
better
that.
than I
Nagging
was.
So we can
cough.
blame
Yeah.
it on, if the show sucks tonight, we'll blame it on the sickness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get down
we're
with the
down
sickness.
with the sickness.
Get down with the
Ooh,
sickness. Excited for
Just-
the...
That face you made was
I missed the
fucking
face.
priceless. I don't know.
That's my O face.
Yeah, that one.
Oh, man.
Freaked me out a little bit.
That was so arousing.
They're just like, I knew this day would come. He's fucking lost it.
I've been waiting for you to mention that song forever.
Finally.
5 years. And
I'm going to make this one count.
The monkey song. I used to think it was he was singing your
You-
monkey's down with the sickness,
Get
and then
up,
he's
your
doing
monkey's down with
doing
the
monkey
sickness.
noises. Oh,
That's funny.
That works. That works. Your monkey's sick.
your monkey's down with the sickness.
Your mother, get up.
you monkey, get up. Come on, get down with us.
Get up.
This organ's not going to grind itself.
Ew. You guys excited
It
for
has so many
oh my
connotations.
gosh. Are you all right?
I told you I didn't
Yeah.
cough. I can't
Damn,
get
here
rid
we
of it.
go. Everybody,
same.
I'm gonna try not to
anybody
do that.
excited for the Super Bowl? This is the only sport. we can talk
Yeah,
about
Super
right
Bowls are fun.
I got my squares. I got 2 sets of
Cool
squares.
commercials.
All right.
now. I'm with
Yeah,
my
the
squares.
commercials, the movie
Yeah.
trailers and
Yeah,
stuff.
any
will be
good commercials, you think? We already saw a glimpse of the Fantastic Four trailer.
That was
a week
good.
ago.
Yep.
You know what they do, which is interesting now? They'll do the like 30-second spot and be like, see the full
trailer.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
online.
later. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
teaser
no, just fucking
trailers
play
for
that
trailers.
shit for
I
me.
hate
Yeah.
that
It's
shit.
because they don't want to pay for more than 30 seconds. They're like,
exactly.
Fan of that.
Oh,
here's
there's
a
$1 million
tease. Now go
coming.
online to the free website. And
Uh-huh.
Yeah, here's a Doritos commercial.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the heavy hitters commercial that he played a lot of money for.
Well, Big Dorito has deep pockets.
Oh, true. So true.
Can't go wrong with any of your
30-second
basic Edo
spots
food
for the
group.
teaser trailer for the actual trailer.
Cheetos.
The Ito family.
Fritos,
Yeah, Fritos.
Tostitos.
No,
Banditos. That's not a food.
Mandingo. Nope, that doesn't count at all.
Banditos?
That's Manditos. Ooh. We got a new product.
That's
Yeah,
it.
the chocolate eclairs, right?
Mandito's sex puppet.
Cool Ranch and nacho cheese.
They're flying
Name of
right
our
off the
band,
shelf.
bro.
That concludes the sports talk and just overall disturbingness portion of our show.
That was sports.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Manditos?
Mandito.
Could be a sport. Mandito. I have no idea. So tonight we are kicking off our Fantasy February with the first of 4 movies set in the world of cheap paperbacks and 10-cent magazines. This year, we're leaving the world of swords and sorcery behind for fantasy tales set in the urban shadows of film noir, fantastic adventures, and larger-than-life Avengers. This is the world of pulp fantasy fiction. And for our first pick, perhaps the greatest and most famous pulp character of all, The Shadow, a movie featuring the ultimate crime fighter who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men and also what fun lurks in this often overlooked adventure movie. But before we grab our fedora and red scarf, our own chef who knows what appetizers lurk in tonight's episode, Brian has prepared a yummy appetizer to start us off.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No.
Thank you, Mark.
I don't know why, but I thought you were going to smack Derek on the leg.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get that
Yeah,
feeling?
I got that feeling too.
You
I
smacked
missed it.
You slapped yourself on the leg, but you reached out far enough where I was like, is he going to hit Derek on the thigh?
When did I slap myself
Just
in the
now.
leg? Did I do that
Yeah,
now?
you were like, and you reached out, and I was like,
I meant to hit my thigh. I'm
gonna
sorry.
slap
No, you
Derek
didn't
on
get
the
me.
thigh.
You didn't
Yeah.
get me. It's just
It-
I
looked
got
like
me,
you
I guess
right?
it just looked that way.
No,
Jesus.
I thought it was going down. I was
I didn't
like,
even realize
I
I
knew
did
this
that.
day would come.
I was no.
Going down in a blaze of
Mark's been
glory.
eyeing my leg with like a piece of meat for 6 years now.
You know it, baby. You know
Keep it
it.
in your
waiting to make
shorts,
it
Shadow
man.
puppet.
Tonight, as Mark mentioned, we're kicking off Fantasy February with a look this time at pulp heroes. To start things off this month, we'll be looking at The Shadow. The film from 1994 stars Alec Baldwin as Lamont Cranston, a.k.a. The Shadow, as he takes down the criminal underworld in 1930s New York City. As the film opens, Cranston has become the evil and corrupt Yinko, a brutal Mongolian warlord and opium smuggler. Yinko was kidnapped by agents of the mysterious holy man Tulku, who knew that the warlord was really Lamont Cranston of New York. Tulku was determined to reform Cranston, noting that since he knew the evil that lurked in his own heart, he would be effective in knowing and fighting such evil in other men, and that he would eventually learn how to tap into his own latent psychic power. With the help of his mentor, Tulku, Cranston learned how to read thoughts and became a master of hypnosis, granting him the mysterious power to cloud men's minds and alter their perceptions to make himself invisible, returning to New York City to fight crime as The Shadow. So for our appetizer, we thought it would be fun to take a look at some of our favorite mentors or senseis who helped to shape our heroes to become the men or women that they were meant to be.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
I think I
Well
went
done.
first last week. So yeah.
Oh, is it me?
Yeah,
is it me
you were
this
up
week?
first,
Wow. Oh, all right. I am going to go with Jim Malone, played by Sean Connery in The Untouchables.
Oh, that's
I
a
am
good one.
Huge
Good
fan of this
pick.
movie, and this is a performance that often doesn't get mentioned enough.
It should. I think it was his only Oscar
won an
win,
Oscar for
right?
that, yeah.
But never,
Yeah.
everybody just doesn't seem to talk about it.
That's the Chicago way.
I was just about to
fucking
say it.
love that
You
movie.
beat me to it.
Yeah.
You bring a knife. He brings a knife. You bring a gun. You send one of your guys to the hospital, you send him to the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Great
Excellent performance, awesome cast, and I've never been the biggest Kevin Costner fan. He's all right, but paired up with Sean Connery, he's awesome. So, gotta give him props. This is my, it's definitely a mentor or sensei sort of, teaching him, all the ropes
to be a cop in Chicago.
That's right. He's teaching everybody, right? When they're waiting by the Canadian border.
Fucking Stone.
Did you check that gun?
Yeah.
Check it again.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Stomp
cold?
your feet.
Stomp your feet. Stomp your feet. You'll learn a lot walking the beach. He's awesome. He's
awesome.
Put you the clock in the ash. Enough of this running shit. You're going to talk. That's all you need is one thieving wow. I'm quoting the whole movie. That's mine. Go ahead.
I went with Pai Mei from Kill Bill.
Oh, nice.
Not only is he the sensei of Bill, El Driver, and The Bride, but he has appeared in multiple kung fu movies and is based on an actual mythical figure in Chinese history, Bak Mei, who was a survivor of the destruction of the Shaolin Monastery during the Qing Dynasty? Qing? I'm not sure. I don't want to offend.
Why start now?
Right, exactly. Unlike most senseis or mentors in fictional media, he's pompous, callous, and cruel. But he's also badass. He's got a menacing and condescending laugh and punishes his students to build up their strength as opposed to being gentle and kind. He's also completely badass, plucking out El Driver's eyeball in retaliation for insulting him. Master of both the 3-inch punch and the 5-point palm exploding heart technique, Pai Mei is truly a sensei whose students, should they make it through their training, are some of the most deadly warriors in the world.
That was cool. Nice. That was Gordon Liu.
Yeah.
Right.
Too.
Who also
the
played
younger dude.
Johnny
wow.
Tan, I think.
The Crazy 88s?
Crazy 88s, yeah.
Okay.
He's got like the Kato mask on.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Multiple roles. I got to go with my guy, Yoda.
I
Yoda,
figured it would be
Master
one.
Yoda, teacher of Luke Skywalker and many other younglings previously.
No,
Before
there is no try.
Order 66, exactly.
He can be a backpack while you run.
He's
He'll hold your drink for you.
lifting stones and sending Luke into the cave.
That log had a child.
I
wondered if you were go Yoda or Obi-Wan.
I have both actually, but I picked Yoda. Because honestly, Ben was cool, but Ben died too soon. He really only knew Luke for about a day. What could he teach him? Whereas Yoda, we don't really know how long Yoda was on Dagobah with Yoda, but with Yoda, he seemed to teach Luke a lot longer about the ways of the Force.
Oh, that's a good point.
You don't know
how long they've been hanging out. Yeah, it's true.
Well, and it was Yoda that transformed him from like the whiny,
Brat.
kid that he was to an actual Jedi Knight. So.
The whiny guy with the lightsaber.
That's right.
He was still pretty whiny.
Who makes out with his sister.
Spouting out backwards words of wisdom.
That's just how they do it in that part of the galaxy.
That's what it is.
It worked for the Egyptians, right?
It did.
Do not. There is no try.
I have so many.
Judge me by my size, do you?
Oh, keep going.
Size matters not.
When I was a kid, I was always like, is he an alien or is he a human? Because at he's 900 years old. I feel like anybody that would live to 900 would
turn out looking like Yoda,
right?
Yeah.
I've seen some humans that look like Yoda.
I've seen humans that look like Yoda now.
Yeah, but now we have Grogu, who's a very young version, only 50 years old, and looks the same. So I would have to say that
he is obviously, What's his race then? Yodanese?
They don't know.
Yodanese.
Don't
know what they're called.
What's the lady one?
Yaddle.
She's badass.
Oh my God. Yaddle.
Voiced by Bryce Dallas Howard.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Really?
I love her too.
I didn't know that.
That fiery haired Minx.
Yoda with the wig?
Yeah. Wiggle. Yaddle.
Running through Dagobah with high heels.
She's my pick, by
Yaddle is
Yaddle's my she trained everybody. She showed Yoda everything he knows.
You know nothing of Yaddle.
Yeah. That's it.
Show Yoda
talk about sex puppets.
Yoda and Yaddle getting it on.
Let's go to town.
Concentrate.
Come, I will.
Slap me, you will. Yes.
Oh boy.
Job be blow.
What's your real pick, Tito?
My Yaddle.
It is
I have
now.
so many though, but I gotta go. This is one of my favorite franchises ever. It's Mickey from Rocky. I fucking love Mickey.
Didn't even think about that. Wow.
You know what? It came to me later. I was like, wait a minute. I love fucking Rocky, and I love Mickey and everything he does. And Rocky becomes a great mentor later in the Creed films. But Mickey is just the fucking best. He's no nonsense. This is how we do it. He cares about Rocky. He gives him all the knowledge he can. It's not necessarily for Mickey about teaching him how to box, because Rocky's a fucking monster. It's really about giving him the tools of life. So, yeah, he's the best. I love Mickey.
Nice.
Shout out Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, great picks, guys. Awesome. Runners up. I knew we'd have a ton, and probably repeat. So I'm just gonna go. I said both Obi-Wan and Yoda, but you're right. Obi-Wan doesn't do a whole hell of a lot.
Not really, no.
He tricks him.
Yeah.
Save the princess. So go ahead, kiss her. It's okay.
So you see, what I told you was true from a certain point of view.
Yeah, no, you're a dick. That's a dick thing to do. A young Jedi named Darth Vader. He was a pupil of mine. Yes. Nothing to do with you. You didn't come out of his penis or anything. No.
I want to come with you to Alderaan and be a Jedi like my father. You know, I made that all up. Your father really was a spice freighter pilot, and I just really needed this ride to Anchorhead.
Sure. These droids say they belong to you. I don't remember a droid. Oh, your father built this one, and he was going around going, whoopee, whoopee. Oh, God, was he awful. I hated your father. You know, I don't like you very much either. I'm living with the Sand People. Go to hell. That's how the movie should have ended.
Yeah.
Cut your dad's legs off, I did.
I had the higher ground. Obi-Wan and Yoba. I also have Ramirez from Highlander. Again, Sean.
That's when you said Sean Connery. That's who I thought you were going to.
I was going to at first, but then I thought of Malone in Untouchables. I'm like, I watched that movie more.
Yeah.
I like that.
Same
movie
director
more.
too.
Yeah, Russell Mulcahy.
That works out.
Oh,
yeah,
with,
tonight's movie, and
that's right.
Yeah,
the Highlander man himself.
B-A-L-A-N-D.
And lastly, I don't know if this counts. Egg Shen from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, it does.
He was on my list.
Yeah.
Nice.
I agree.
Awesome.
He schools them on the fucking underworld, man.
He does.
Otherwise,
they
they would go to their death.
Yep.
They would all die if it wasn't for Egg Shen.
That's true.
They needed him. They need that fucking magic juice.
What's that bag that he's got? The
6-demon bag.
6-demon bag.
What's in it? Great. Fire. All that stuff. And then he gives him the drink that turns them gay for a little bit.
That's right. They're on the elevator.
I fucking love that scene. I'm like, wait a minute. Did they just become gay? I don't understand. I don't understand that.
I always thought they just got high. It never dawned on me that they got gay.
It gets
high.
very just like, is it hot in here? And then everybody's like smiling and like kind of winking at each other. Yeah,
maybe.
It's very interesting.
Egg Shen having a little fun.
Good for them, man.
Yep.
6-demon bag, baby.
Yeah. 6 Sex Puppets bag.
Everyone should have one.
Everybody should have a 6-demon bag.
What's your occupation? Tour bus. Bus for tourists.
Bus for tourists.
Yeah, thank you. We got it the first time.
San Francisco, Chinatown. Derek,
what'll come out?
I got a few. Rufus from Bill and Ted.
No, that's a great one.
Wow, way to think. Yeah.
Splinter from Ninja Turtles.
I thought all of you guys would have that one.
Yep.
I got that one.
Whistler from Blade.
Oh, I didn't think about Whistler.
Morpheus from The Matrix.
I got Morpheus. Yeah, that's a good one.
Johnny Lawrence on Cobra Kai.
Fuck.
Yoda, of course, and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Hawkeye. Oh, from Hawkeye.
Mentor for
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is Hawkeye.
Yep.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye is Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Which even the book, that book like made that character relevant.
Okay, Bishop,
and kind of like boosted. So
Yeah.
good on him.
That was good. That was good. Good picks. I've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. I've got Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
I've got Gandalf.
Yeah.
I've got Jor-El from Superman the movie, and right.
Oh yeah, Jor-El. I was thinking Zod for a minute, even though you said I thought Terrence.
Jor-El.
Yeah.
His daddy.
Yeah, his dad. Great mentor.
His dad taught
he
him a
didn't
lot.
listen to his dad.
They're great people, Kal-El. They wish to be. They just need a little help.
It is forbidden to interfere with humans. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going
And
to turn
also,
back time.
I also have the cleverly named Mentor from Shazam, the old TV show.
Yes,
that's
Mentor
hilarious.
in the van.
My mentor.
Mentor.
Mentor, the fresh maker.
Sensei Mentor.
The same thing. Mentor.
They drive around in the RV with the frickin'
the Winnebago.
Shazam boat. The Winnebago.
Exactly.
What are they doing?
Nothing creepy about that.
No, nothing at all.
Not too conspicuous either.
Come, Billy. Time to get to the Winnebago.
This bago's a rockin'. Come a knockin'.
I want to bang you.
In the Bango. Winnebago.
The Winnebago.
Right?
Nice.
What's your name? Tito.
I got Master Splinter. I got Uncle Iroh from Avatar. Master Shifo's cool. I prefer Oogway from Kung Fu Panda, the turtle.
Oh, yeah.
Morpheus. And then I got these. They're kind of a split for me. They're both Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. Uncle Zien from Kickboxer and Senzo Tanaka from Bloodsport. Whoever teaches Jean-Claude Van Damme to do
Both
what he
are
does.
very good. Also, Wilford Brimley and Hard Target.
Oh, for sure.
Make trunk off moonshine, and
Taught
I
him
taught
every
him
day.
everything. I taught him how to fight gators and ride horses and
Grow a
fire a
fucking
shotgun.
mullet.
I taught him how to wear that mullet.
I guarantee.
I guarantee. It's one of us, I guarantee.
Diabetes, I guarantee.
Is that the only movie he ever used an accent in? 'Cause
Maybe.
otherwise, it's just Wilford Brimley and every other thing.
Maybe. It's the only time we've ever seen it. Sarah and I watched The Thing again last weekend, and we were like, has Wilford Brimley ever played a happy character?
No.
And I was like, well, in Hard Target, he's riding around on horses, yelling
Having a
all
good time.
happily. Yeah, he's happy in that movie.
He used to have that show on Disney with like Shannon Doherty.
Our House.
Yeah.
Our House.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't it like her grandfather or something on it?
Yes, I forgot Shannon Doherty.
The
was
late
in that.
Shannon Doherty.
The late Shannon
Yeah, it's
Doherty.
true. R.I.P. Shannon.
All right, awesome
Hold on.
appetizers.
I just wanted to bring one thing up. You were talking about character, not his character, but Joel Grey's character, Chun, in Remo Williams.
Oh, yes. Pulp.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Way to tie it in.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You never
Remo
saw Remo
Williams?
Williams?
No.
Oh,
Didn't we
fantastic
watch
movie.
it? No, we watched Buckaroo Banzai.
We did.
Yeah.
Remo Williams is
Fred Ward.
Fred Ward.
Fred Ward.
Yeah. Wilford Brimley and Joel Grey and Kate Mulgrew.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah, we
Good
waiting
movie.
for her.
All right. Okay, now excellent appetizers, everybody. Shall we get to the main course?
You say so.
Main course.
There you go.
No,
Nah, we're
no,
tired.
we're done with that.
2025. Leave that shit in the past.
2025,
Yeah, that's
we're
it.
not doing that anymore.
Leave that hiss in the past.
We're done with the hits.
Little dog don't like that.
Little snake don't like that? All right.
Little dog don't
Okay.
like that.
All right. Main course it is.
Every morning, I wake up and I smoke a cigarette. And then I eat 5 strips of bacon. And for lunch, I eat a bacon sandwich. And for a midday snack, bacon, a whole damn plate. And I usually drink my dinner.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. And who knows what geekiness lies in the hearts of 4 geek dads? Well, we do. The weed of crime bears bitter fruit, and the garbage of podcasting bears a bitter smell. So tune in as we cloud your minds of our lack of talent, looks, and hygiene, and instead listen as we stay in the shadows to talk about perhaps the greatest pulp character in books, comics, and radio shows, and maybe on the silver screen, depending on what we all thought of tonight's movie, The Shadow. Gentlemen, opening thoughts, which I guess starts with me. This was my pick, so obviously I really like this movie. I love the radio show. That's what got me into the whole thing.
The talkies.
The talkies. I love old-time radio shows in general because I'm that kind of guy. And so when I started listening to Orson Welles and The Shadow, it was great. I started reading the comic books.
On your ham radio?
On my old ham radio in the basement while building my bomb shelter in fear of nuclear war. Am I missing anything? No, that was the 50s and the 30s. What was I afraid of? The Great Depression.
Yeah, the Dust Bowl.
Nazis.
The Nazis were a thing, and so
Nazis
that's what
on
I
the
was
rise.
doing. Yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of this character. This is the character that just launched a dozen vigilantes from Batman to even Superman. Amazingly enough, the Jerry Siegel found influence in The Shadow somehow for Superman. I don't know how that fits, but it does.
They're both brunettes.
There it is, right there.
Bingo.
And I really like this movie. I think it's very underrated. I think it's a lot of fun. It definitely has its flaws. It's got things you can clearly make fun of, but it's kind of a wholesome, old school superhero film, the kind they really don't make anymore. It's, you don't have to see a dozen other movies or know what a shared universe is. It's your basic good versus evil. You know who the bad guys are by how they dress. You know who the good guy is. They get the girl at the end, and it's filled with it's a awesome cast. It's just your usual take over the world plot. nothing really deep about this movie or movies like that. And that's exactly what the old pulp heroes were, man. They were just fun and adventurous, and they made crime fighting look exciting. And that's what this movie does. So I love it. I think it's awesome. Derek.
Well, while The Shadow at times can err on the side of silliness, the overall movie is a lot of fun. They capture the noir radio style, radio show style, really well. It fits it. I always loved a good 1930s nightclub scene like this one in Rocketeer, 13th Floor. The style and design is great. The menacing laugh that he has is awesome. The way they shot like his action and the way that he moves like a cloud. I wish that they had made more of these films because this one was enjoyable, but there's a lot more that they could have done with future installments with other villains. You know, there's a wide array of characters on the original show, and I would have liked to see the continued adventures, but you know, if it's just the one,
it didn't lose
got a good
money.
One. Right?
Yeah, it didn't lose money. It didn't do great, but it didn't lose money.
Right?
I could have. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a total flop.
No. And lesser movies than this have gotten sequels.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I don't know. But yeah, I agree. This is a very fun movie. I remember seeing this back when it opened in '94, and I really haven't seen it since. I don't think I've watched it until I watched it Sunday night. But I love this movie. This movie was a lot of fun, and I was texting Mark as I was watching it. I didn't realize what a stacked cast this movie had. I forgot that Ian McKellan was in this movie. I forgot that Tim Curry was in this movie. Jonathan Winters. I'm like, oh my, Peter Boyle.
Yeah,
all
and then even the small roles
tiny
are
roles,
like very
exactly.
big character actors.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. You could definitely see the Batman influence in it, or you can definitely see how Batman was influenced by it.
Absolutely.
I think they both go hand in hand.
They do.
Because this came out shortly after Tim Burton's 2 Batman movies. And you can
after the animated series.
And after the animated series by a couple of years, too. So you can definitely see that influence on it, even though the Shadow as a character influenced Batman way back in the day. So I love how that kind of came full circle. And it was just a lot of fun. I want to watch it again. I actually didn't watch it on your Vudu.
Oh.
I bought a copy of it, and
nice.
I watched it, so I have it to own, so I can watch it whenever without kicking anybody off of your Vudu.
Kick you.
So, it's an awesome film. I want to watch it again.
It's funny. The Shadow comes out in the 30s, and in the comics, he's a vigilante. I mean, he started out as just this radio host, like a Rod Serling character.
Right.
This mystery radio show.
Yeah, and everybody glommed onto him.
Yeah, he was just
we want to hear more of the Shadow.
Kind of like the Boba Fett of this whole thing. It's like, what's this
interesting.
dude with the voice? So they started making adventures about him, and then sometime later they started releasing him in comics and pulp magazines. And he was a true vigilante. I mean, he killed people. He operated outside of the law, and that's what inspired Bill Finger. I say Bill Finger, not Bob Kane, to create Batman as this originally this vigilante who, for the first couple of strips, operated out of New York with a gun, and he killed people, and he was outside of the law as well. Yeah. So now we flash forward decades and decades later. Batman's now kind of no longer the soulless vigilante, really. He's a crime fighter, and then along comes Burton's movies. He's got the code, and then the Shadow comes along, and he's a watered down version of what he used to be. But it's funny how they both inspired each other, but then they went away from what inspired them. It's odd, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it did to me. I don't know. But anyway. Sorry, Tito.
No, that's okay. This is a fun movie. This came out at a time where, if you were a comic fan, you were like desperate to see stuff, especially after Batman. I remember this movie came out in the theaters, and I have 2 older sisters, so if we went to a movie, we had to agree on the movie to see. And I always want to see something like this, and they always want to see something else. So we always saw something else. And we watched.
You're always outvoted.
We watched. We went to Speed instead because they both want to see Speed.
Oh, that's not a bad.
No, I had to pretend that I hated the movie when we were going. I was so mad because these opportunities didn't come that often with like these kinds of characters. And I finally saw it on cable. It's a really fun movie. Alec Baldwin, you can clearly see he had that superhero style to him. He could have played this character many, many times. It's too bad he didn't get the opportunity. He's been a draw for many years. So good cast. It's really fun. I like the 1920s, 30s club stuff too, like Harlem Nights, movies like this, Rocketeer. It's just fun to kind of see, especially in New York, to see that kind of style. Cool villain, great. I love the sidekicks and his whole. he helps you out. That means you become kind of part of his crew, which I really enjoy. He's got this network that could have, again, if they made more movies, expanded into so many things.
It could be anybody
around the world. Yeah, because anybody could have a ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, a really fun movie. I haven't seen it in a few years, but yeah, it definitely holds up. Yeah, it's good.
Cool. All right, shall we get
ready to
into
go through it?
Nitty gritty?
All right,
Derek, our new official synopsis writer.
So, The Shadow, 1994, directed by Russell
Mulcahy. Russell Mulcahy.
Who we mentioned before.
Director of The Highlander.
Yep. Also, Ricochet, The Real McCoy. Written by David Cope, who wrote so many things. Death Becomes Her, Jurassic Park, Carlito's Way, The First Mission Impossible, Snake Eyes, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
That's right.
Crazy amount of stuff. He was like the big guy
that's
back
a lot
then.
of like
blockbusters.
That director I'm thinking of. He wrote a bunch of movies for. Yeah, fuck it.
That guy.
You just listed off like so many. Who's Scarface? Who directed that movie?
Brian De Palma.
So many De Palma films.
Yeah.
That's
Starring Alec Baldwin as the titular character, Penelope Ann Miller, John Lone, who also starred in the sequel to last week's film, Rush Hour 2.
Oh yeah.
Peter Boyle.
Kidding.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's the main bad guy.
I forgot
Peter Boyle, Ian McKellen, Johnathan Winters, and Tim Curry, as we mentioned. Just amazing cast. Originally, this was Sam Raimi was going to make this. He planned to make it, but was denied the rights. He ended up making Darkman instead. And then tried to make a new Shadow film for like years. I think starting in 2006, but
he never got it off.
Never got it off the ground. Lots of homages to the original. Some of the lines, some of the just the product placement part when he asks him where he got his tie.
Oh, the Brooks Brothers thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yin Ko, the name that he goes by, was an actual name that Lamont Cranston used in the Black Eagle.
It means Black Eagle.
Yep, it means Black Eagle, and he used it in like the teeth of the dragon and Golden Pagoda.
I think Black Eagle was the call sign he went under when he was a World War I pilot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. And as we mentioned, major influence on the creation of Batman, as confirmed by both Bill Finger and the other guy.
The other guy.
Let me ask you a question. If Bob Kane doesn't exist, do we ever get Batman?
Yes.
Somebody else would draw him.
I don't know if he would have been.
Somebody else come up with him?
And I don't know if he would have been Batman.
So I'm going to say yes, only because we're talking about pulp characters, and there was a pulp character during this whole Shadow Green Hornet time called the Black Bat, who was in fact a blind lawyer.
Oh, so Bill Finger stole that too, then?
Probably,
So
yeah.
they're all
Bob
thieves.
Kane. First, actually, he's more daredevil than he's a blind lawyer, but I can't remember how, but he has this his hearing is heightened because he's blind, so he fights crime and not a bat suit.
I always wish that would happen to me.
But he's got bat.
Like the blinder I
wings and
get,
a
the
gun.
better my ears don't
Yeah.
get. Unfortunately.
So I think
Possibly,
a
but maybe
bat-like
not
character
Batman.
was already
it
was already created. Bill Finger just did it better.
Right.
He took Black Bat and just gave him ears. And Bob Kane's design was the furthest thing from a bat, though, other than wasn't even a bat cape, right? It was just these two mechanical bat wings.
Was he wearing like a red shirt and just
red
like
shirt, blonde hair, and a Lone Ranger mask? Yeah. He sucks.
Start somewhere.
Yeah.
You suck, Bob Kane.
Fuck Bob
He looked
Kane.
like Wile E. Coyote when he ordered the Acme bat suit.
I mean, thanks, Bob Kane, for inspiring Bill Finger.
I guess.
Right.
Yeah. And then denying him any royalties so he could die in poverty. Wonderful man. Wonderful man.
I mean, you got to get your lawyers in check, bro.
That's true.
You got to get on that.
Yeah, the lawyers going. I digress. Though.
All right.
Please,
So
tell me about the movie.
The movie starts as 3GD favorite James Hong is being brought to meet a warlord.
Poor bastard.
I know.
Shoot.
Who turns out to be a very white American. I was always very confused by that, to be honest. Hong is wasted, literally and figuratively. Justice prevails shortly thereafter as Yin Ko is snatched from his castle, as previously mentioned in the opening, and brought to a mysterious temple. Inside is Tulku, a young or not mystic who tells Yin Ko that he knows who he is and offers him a chance to harness supernatural abilities and become a hero. He pits Yin Ko against a creepy Mortal Kombat kind of enchanted dagger named Furba. Let me tell you, this dagger bites. Yeah, literally.
He's a prick.
He is.
Yeah.
He's a fucking asshole.
Dagger bites.
He's a little boyish looking guy, but he's got this deep
voice. Yeah.
Did I read that they used the same dagger in the Golden Child?
Oh, I don't know. It's got that the cross, how it intersects.
Yeah.
Right.
Blade.
It's like a four-bladed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool blade, actually. I remember thinking when I first saw this, like, how cool that was.
Yeah.
And the scene itself with it flying around is
It's
very...
a fun little scene. The
Yeah.
CGI is a little but
Yeah,
it
was
whatever. It was
94.
1994. We can
It's
forgive
only a
it.
year after Jurassic
When
Park
he bites
came
in
out.
it bites into Lamont's hand, man, I can feel that.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, looks like it hurts.
I did notice that because I rewound it and watched it again because he has red on that part where he bites like already before he gets bitten. I'm like, I wonder how many takes it took to get that thing to bite properly.
That dagger was a bitch on the set.
It was.
Yeah.
It
It was
was
very demanding.
very difficult.
It was a
Yeah.
demanding
He only made the
dagger.
2 films, this
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that
right.
one, so.
And he didn't get any speaking lines in the first one.
That's right.
Just a couple of screaming lines in this one.
So he ends up training him. We're next greeted with the lazy man's exposition. It's a crawl that explains that Yinko, who is actually Lamont Cranston, was taught by the Tulku to harness abilities like clouding minds. He returns home to New York City, where we go next, 7 years after his turn to redemption.
This is when people tried to make superhero movies short.
Yeah.
Nowadays,
Right.
you would have this whole thing
Right.
filmed. And,
Like there would have been a much longer
Yes.
montage of him being trained,
right.
Yeah.
right?
Let me ask,
Some time with his father. That's probably right. I mean, they did that. That's the kind of shit they do. In
My
comic
thought was
books.
when I was watching this, did Christopher Nolan steal all this for the first Christian Bale
For
Batman
Batman
movie?
Begins.
Oh,
Batman
with, like,
Begins.
the-
Going to the
yeah.
temple.
When he was in,
and,
in dealing with Chow Yun-Fat
Yeah,
as,
very much.
Oh,
Maybe.
it's Ra's
who
al
he thought
Ghul.
was
Yeah.
Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Could be.
Who's also another mentor that could have been on our appetizer.
Being trained
Oh,
by
yeah,
the
almost
League of
forgot.
Shadows.
Raise,
Yeah, Raish.
Raz,
always
He
thought-
has so many
You know
different
what?
pronunciations.
Tomato.
They always called him Raish on Batman the Animated Series, so that's
Yeah.
what I call him.
All right, cool.
And then in that movie, the little old lady goes to introduce him. Am I saying that right? Mr. Ra's al Ghul.
Oh, those fucking movies. All right.
So we're on a bridge. There's a few gangsters. They pull this old Asian guy out of the car. Apparently he's witnessed something. He's got cement shoes already on him. And they're getting ready to spill him. But the menacing laughter of the shadow stops them short. Despite literally shooting everywhere around him, the gangster Duke is punished by the shadow, who moves like a ghost, haunting the criminals.
That's fun. He's just spinning
Very
in a
cool.
circle.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a fun scene.
I think you got him.
And this was a very,
Yeah.
very much a Batman the Animated Series.
Oh,
kind of.
absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Like with him
Yeah.
kind of menacing laughter in the shadows and
Yeah.
the
The lone
style of the
car on the
gangsters.
bridge.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
no other traffic
Right.
at all.
No traffic. Don't have to worry about more.
Everybody's in bed.
Yeah.
They're there killing a witness
Yeah.
and risking having other witnesses witness this.
It was
Exactly.
simpler times. Everybody, 8
what they
o'clock,
didn't
they're fast
see,
asleep.
what they didn't show was that there was actually a fish being fitted with styrofoam shoes, and he was being sent to sleep with the humans.
And that's Oily
So it all-
Bullhunk. Oily Bullhunk from 16 Candles.
Right.
The janitor
Yeah,
from...
Carl,
Yeah,
the janitor
Carl,
from,
the janitor
yep.
from
Oh, that's
Breakfast
right.
Club.
Yeah.
Yep. Lot of character actors in this.
This
so
is a
throughout.
First of all, this is a
Hey,
Seinfeld
Father, I
character.
bet the people who thought we had to get married are pretty stupid. right
He was on
about now, huh?
Seinfeld.
Yeah, they all were. This is like a
Oh, this is the guy with the
Seinfeld
cocaine addiction.
Yeah.
Seinfeld character actor reunion. You
Yeah,
have the coke
absolutely.
addict. You've got Farfel, the
Farfel,
Farfel
yeah.
guy is in it.
Farfel, that's
You
right,
have
It's gold, Jerry, gold.
you got Banya.
Oh, yeah, Banyan's in it.
And
yeah.
the fake Kramer as the cab driver.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
the
that's
one that
right.
crashes
Oh, yeah,
into-
yeah.
I'm like, these
The one
are
who steals the
all
box of
I
raisins.
gotta get some gas.
Seinfeld.
Who at first, when I first saw him, I thought that he was the guy that remember the guy in Home Alone 2 is when they go to Paris, right? Oh no, it is the first one. Remember when he
The
calls
first
the
one they
police
go to
station?
Paris because the kid says, "Bring me back something French."
Yes. Remember when they call she calls the police station and the woman transfers him to
Yeah.
the other
That's
guy?
him.
I thought that was him. It's not.
Oh, it's not.
It's not him.
That's totally
That's a
him.
totally different actor.
No.
Yeah, because I
Did you look it up?
I did. Because I was thinking like, oh, where do I know this guy from? And it was from something
Larry
different.
Hankin.
It looks just like him.
Right.
Oh.
So yeah, after
Yeah, Ethan Phillips was in it from Neelix from Star Trek.
And
yeah.
big from Parker Lewis, he was the other guard
Yep.
next to him.
Max
Lewis,
Wright. I noticed him. He was Alf's dad.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was Willie.
yeah.
Ah, Willie.
Yeah, a ton of people just pop in and out of frame. That weird guy who was in that show Grimm is the guy that Shiwan Khan sends off the building, after saying nice outfit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's that weird guy. He was in a bunch of weird
The
stuff.
one with the eyebrows.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, eyebrow guy.
I hate that scene.
You don't like that scene?
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Little Derek don't like that.
But yeah, so the
Little
shadow.
Derek don't like that.
So the shadow rescues this man, and they are picked up by one of the shadow's agents, a taxi driver. In return for saving him, the shadow enlists him as one of his agents. And the sun is shining, but the ice is slippery. It's awesome. Nice.
Gives him
little
that ring.
code. Yeah, gives him
the ring.
Little red ruby ring.
I love Peter Boyle as Shrevey.
Yeah.
I love him just driving the cab while the shadow's giving the guy the instructions. He's like, "Oh, traffic," and
and he's very straightforward about it. Yep,
Yeah.
Yep. He saved me, and now I work for him.
Yeah.
Someone who owes him his life, like you.
Returning to his form of Lamont Cranston, millionaire playboy, sounds familiar, meets up with his uncle Wainwright, who's played by Johnathan Majors, who is the chief of the...
Winters.
Sorry, Jonathan. Who's Johnathan Majors?
Johnathan Majors.
He's not getting anywhere.
Yeah, he's Kang.
No, that's
sorry, Johnathan Winters, who is
Kane.
the commissioner of the police.
Yes.
Lamont uses
Murph.
his mind clouding
From
abilities.
Mork.
And they're at this nice, cool club, which again, like they need they need to open up more of these places.
The Cobalt Club.
The Cobalt Club,
the big
which
dining
is,
room. It's
I
open.
believe a nod to Orson Welles' Inner Sanctum.
Oh, I thought it was a
No.
a take
The
on
Hideout
Cotton
was
Club.
the Sanctum. Never mind. Sorry, wrong. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I
Just
thought the
gonna
Cobalt
shut up
Club
now.
was a takeoff on the Cotton Club.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, wrong
And
thing.
because I forget the name of the one in the Rocketeer, but just they need to open one, like with a cool jazz singer and a live band, fancy
Nobody
dinner.
wants that anymore.
Nope.
No,
Nobody
Like, the
wants
tables all
that
look like they're
anymore.
the dinner tables on a cruise ship kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
I want that.
Well,
You
gotta-
want that.
Like nobody
I'm gonna
leaves their
open
house
one.
in a suit
I'm
anymore.
gonna
That's
invest.
true.
I'm gonna open up
This
one.
is a time. This is a time when people went to baseball games in suits.
True.
That's
we don't
true.
Do, we don't
That's
do that
true.
anymore.
Yep, and flew on airplanes in suits. Got dressed up and
I would even get dressed up in a suit to go to a place like this.
Had sex in suits.
Had sex, and they did.
with puppets.
The women too. The women got in
sex
suits.
puppets with suits.
Yeah.
So he's sitting there with the commissioner, his uncle, and
Who is not really his uncle, but this was made for
it's
the
not.
movie. I'm going to throw that in there
Oh.
too. In the comics and in the radio shows, he is not
his
Lamont's
uncle.
not his uncle. He's Commissioner Weston too. I don't know if there are other versions of this where this happened or not. I mean, there were a lot of different versions of the Shadow, but all the ones I've listened to and read, he is Commissioner Weston, and there is there's no relation. Fun.
Well, I guess they got to have a reason for him to be at the table with him and talking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he used to drop in all the time, visit him in the office, annoy the shit out of him because he'd solve a case. But hey, whatever. David, you wrote it. I didn't.
Yep.
But he's sitting there and he's telling Lamont about how he's on the trail of he's trying to track down the Shadow, this vigilante.
Yeah.
So Lamont uses his mind clouding abilities to trick his uncle into forgetting about the Shadow, which is great.
This
Yeah.
Jedi
So
mind
very
trick.
much, very much like, I don't even need the Shadow.
Yeah, he's not the vigilante you're looking for.
Right.
Which he never
Go
really
about your business.
uses again.
Move along.
I feel
Move
like
along.
he could have,
Move
and he
along.
doesn't.
So then he starts reprimanding him for never being around and never being normal. He's good, strange hours, much like the other billionaire. Margot Lane.
Elon Musk? What are you talking about?
Lois Lane's cousin, Margot?
Yeah, Margot Lane catches his eyes as Kenny G plays in the background.
Yeah, this part is weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird
And
song to be
it
playing.
had to have
does
been Kenny
not.
G, too.
It does
Like,
not
it
fit
was-
that nightclub scene at all.
Lamont introduces himself and puts on the moves, and the two relocate to a Chinese restaurant for some Peking duck.
Yeah.
Margot is shown to have telepathic abilities. Does she have telepathic abilities on the show?
And all this stuff. No.
Okay. So this was new.
She was just testing because they never said girlfriend for some reason. I can't remember how it goes, but they refer to her as Cranston's friend and companion.
Oh,
the lovely Margot Lane, and she would just go along for the adventure. She was kind of like the audience, somebody for Lamont to explain, how he saw, like the Watson character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that makes more sense. So she has these telepathic abilities. She puts Lamont on the cautious side because of his secret identity. So he leaves, he returns home and passes out in front of the fireplace, and the fire rises above him in the form of a man's face laughing. Waking, he realizes someone is coming.
That's someone.
Winter is coming.
Is the dad from Alf.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because he's in the next scene.
Which is exactly who shows up in the next scene elsewhere. The dad from Alf is free, and that's what I wrote. Is freaking out about a mysterious shipment from Tibet that the museum has no knowledge of. Intrigued, the director uncrates the metal sarcophagus and unleashes Temujin, or Genghis Khan. so we think. While the director and Alf's dad go try and figure out how it got there, a very freaked out security guard witnesses the sarcophagus open and the very creepy Shiwan Khan, who uses shadow-like abilities to force the guard to kill himself. He then escapes into the night.
That guard is from Benson. He's the little guy from Benson. Yeah.
He was like the governor's. Is it Benson works for the governor, right?
I think so.
He was one of his aides.
Yeah.
And he's in a ton of different Star Trek projects.
Yeah, that's Neelix.
Multiple different, and he always plays different characters.
Yeah, Ethan Phillips.
Yeah.
I was looking at his IMDb.
First Contact. He's in First Contact.
Yeah, he plays the holographic.
He was
waiter.
on The Next Generation. He was
holodeck.
on,
he was
lost
a
track of how many.
Ferengi. He was everybody.
Yeah.
He looks like a Ferengi.
He does look like a Ferengi.
I don't think he had to have much makeup for that one.
Willie! Oh, no, that's...
Wrong guy.
Imagine if they opened up, Alf comes out of the thing. Willie!
Anybody got a cat?
I'm here to take over the world! Yo!
At the federal building, Reinhardt Lane, Margot's father and a scientist, along with his partner Farley Claymore, played by the incomparable Tim Curry, are working on their project when Margot stops by and tells him about Lamont. It pretty much just serves as an intro to the two scientists. You get to see Tim Curry be a little kind of shady, slimeballish. Get a feel for his character.
you know he's not good.
Right. He's not like his partner Reinhardt. He's more of a fast and loose.
I'm in it
even
for
a scientist?
the money.
I don't even.
Oh yeah, because
that he's a scientist.
I always thought he was like an assistant.
Well, he was. I think he develop the sphere.
Oh, he came up with the
beryllium sphere.
Yeah, the design for the sphere, and
right.
Reinhardt was kind of figuring out
which they reused
the
in Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's right.
I want to show you my sphere, Margot. Trying to pull off that.
I don't know, Margot.
Trying to hide that English accent. Not doing a very good job of it, but he's still fun to watch.
So after a cop who turns out to be one of the Shadow's agents sends off a message to him through a really cool, one of
I
those
love this stuff.
bank pipe tunnel things, and informing him of the incident at the museum. He doesn't have to wait very long to find out who has arrived in the city. Khan shows up at the Shadow's sanctum. He speaks of the Tulko, of the guy Tulko, and tells Lamont that he is a fanboy, basically, of Yinko.
This scene. This is a
and
great scene.
he wishes to partner with him to take over the world. He's like, I'm a big fan. I studied your invasion of something.
You are my idol.
He's really there. He's not really there, right?
No, he's there.
No, he's there. For that one, he's really there.
Because the next scene is him. He disappears and it cuts to him.
There's a lot of weird
blended
cuts.
into the carpet.
Yeah.
And then he raises himself up.
No, it's really weird because
It
they
made me
have
think
bourbon
he
and
was-
they
So that's the thing that
bourbon.
confuses me.
Yeah.
It's like he's
No.
corporeal.
It's a strange cut. He just manages to disappear, or cloud
There's a
his
couple
mind.
kind of unexplained little loophole
But
things.
he found the place for sure. That's how awesome.
So he turns him down. Lamont brings a coin that he lifted off of Khan during their exchange to the man he saved from the gangsters.
Yep.
Who also appears to be some type of
One of the
scientist.
scientists in this movie.
He knows who to save.
There's
a lot of people in the city going
This is the 30s.
going unsaved because they don't really serve a purpose for us network.
Hey, you can help me later, scientist. What were you? Baseball player. Nah.
Sorry, I already got a cab driver, buddy.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Good luck to you.
Exactly.
How about you? I'm a
As he takes his
bricklayer.
ring
Oh,
back.
perfect.
Examining the metal, it is revealed to be bronzium, an alloy that could be used for nuclear fission, and that Margot's father, Reinhardt, has become reclusive and aloof while working on energy research for the War Department.
Good word, aloof.
Like who Khan seeks out to use to create a powerful bomb with the precious metal. While at the club again, back to the club, with his uncle, who is not his uncle, Margot pleads with the commissioner to investigate her father's strange behavior. She explains his actions, which include talking Chinese, even though he's never studied Chinese. Lamont deduces that Khan is involved. Khan! Margot chases him out of the club and then reads his mind as Lamont fails to use his own abilities to make her forget.
Yeah, he tries to.
Tries to make her not realize who he is, and she just, because it's like, what are you talking about, you idiot?
Yeah, I like that part.
I do too.
I also like that he's been able to convince his uncle to just disband the police altogether from this film.
Yeah,
I know.
Right.
Not a cop in sight.
Yeah.
Do not investigate crime.
Any of you.
Any of it.
Hence why nobody was on the bridge.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's
yeah.
true.
Very true.
And I gotta say, I think this is probably my favorite role for Penelope Ann Miller.
She's good in this movie.
I really like she's humorous, and
I really like Gail. And
I think I'm agreeing with Mark.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Keep
Okay.
going. We'll get to it.
I can tell by Mark's face. He's thinking like me.
Khan's agents, who somehow look as if they came directly from Tibet as well. This is one of those loopholes. Like they never explain. All of a sudden, he's got this army.
Yeah.
And
how many sarcophagus were delivered?
Yeah, and later on, he calls them Mongols. So like they're from Mongolia.
They took a plane.
Well, yeah. We'll meet you over there.
That was like back when you could get a sword on a plane.
We'll stick him in a box and we'll meet him over there.
Yeah, you used to be able to bring swords on planes back then and armor.
They served dinners with forks, knives. Yeah. Sure, why not?
Thanks for nothing, 9/11.
Thank you, Tito.
So Khan's agents they go and locate Reinhardt, are on their way out when the shadow appears and fights them, but one escapes and the other chooses death by falling over giving up the whereabouts of his master.
Mm-hmm. Death to my Khan.
Reinhardt is forced to lure Margot to the lab where Khan entrances her, forcing her to show up to Lamont's penthouse and shoot him. Lamont breaks the trance and is exposed as the shadow. She pleads with him to help her father. I don't like the look when he's entrancing. I don't mind it for the shadow.
Like the eyes?
But
I love it.
Is it the black eyes or the
sparkle,
whole
black? Yeah, when they like all.
You don't like the black.
They're
part.
huge and they're all black. I don't mind it as much with the shadow, but when it's
just him,
Khan,
Shiwan,
it's very creepy.
Oh, okay.
And I guess it's supposed to be, but like it's very strange looking. And I almost want to say like with Alec Baldwin, it looks like he used contacts. Whereas John Lone, it looks like he refused to, and they had to CGI it.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
There's a little difference that I just don't like.
You get obviously you get the shadowy effect when Baldwin does it, which adds like a level of coolness to it.
Yeah.
Which Shiwan doesn't really have. He just his eyes just turn and he's fucking like, do what I say.
Right. Lamont meets with Khan again and learns that he killed the Tulku and is in possession of the Curva dagger.
Yeah, he Ellie Drivers the guy's.
He does.
Not
he
cool.
does.
Not cool,
at
man.
all.
I
took it out of the.
Yeah.
Lamont and Margot share a romantic moment, and she tells him that she's not afraid of him. I'm not
But
afraid
I
of him.
am. This is a great line.
Yes,
by
but
the
I,
way.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I
but
like
I
that
am.
line.
Like he's afraid. He's afraid of love.
Yeah.
Of letting those walls down.
Just ravaging her with her shadows.
You will be.
Don't fall asleep.
So, Jesus Christ, that's awful.
Sorry.
Well, she does fall asleep.
You're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah.
She does fall asleep because in the morning, Margot is sexed the fuck up after her dream. She
For
is,
sure. She's ready to roll.
Oh, she is.
Which I
has
thought-
this erotic.
and I've seen this movie,
Yeah.
but like it's been a long time, and I was
Yeah.
thinking like, all right, this has to be some type of dream that he's having, right?
Wow,
'Cause
get the
she's
fucking
like,
hit, Alec Baldwin.
Like, holy crap, throwing herself at
Yeah.
him.
And his answer.
She appears to be a totally different girl, letting all her inhibitions and professionalism just melt away to show us saucy minx. She doesn't.
Have a little minx, isn't she?
She doesn't give him a chance to keep her from coming with him to help find her.
Right
father.
out of the radio show.
She's just
Yeah.
along for the ride. She's coming whether he likes it or not.
No pun
The
intended.
tenacity of Lois Lane comes from Margot Lane.
There you go.
This is
Yeah.
the
That makes
influence that Jerry Siegel got. The go-getter girl,
Right.
not the common damsel in
Yeah.
distress. She didn't listen to Clark Kent, and Margot Lane doesn't listen to Lamar. I'm coming. I want to know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, that makes
too.
perfect sense.
Yeah, there you go.
She's
Totally. And the
Marion
last name.
Ravenwood. I'm your goddamn partner.
Khan and Reinhardt go over the details of the explosion at the top of the Empire State Building. This is awful. Because, I don't like heights. Khan forces a Navy soldier to jump to his death after being insulted by the man.
Yeah.
Which, this is why
You know what's wild? You see him hit the first level.
Oh, I know.
Like he doesn't make it all the way to ground level.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Because he just fucking
Yeah.
boom, and then hits another thing.
And
I was
what's
like, oh,
happening
shit,
during this?
I
This
never
is in the
noticed.
background, and in the foreground, Lamont saying to Margot, "It's all falling into place now."
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah.
That's a nice little bit of humor right
On the other side, King Kong's climbing up, and he's like, "Whoops,
that one wasn't
that
me.
wasn't me.
I didn't do that one.
Oh,
Nope.
I'm just after the blonde."
The Shadow then visits Claymore to track down the beryllium sphere. Claymore is lined with Khan now and manages to wound the Shadow.
Exactly.
It's very cool. It's very cool the way that he does it. He's paying attention to he sees the
water.
footprints in the water and shoots him, and then you see the blood drip in.
And also, at first, the Shadow can't control him.
Right.
Which is pretty weird because he's not under Khan's control either.
No,
he
he's
willingly
of
joins
his own free will,
because he's a
exactly.
greedy bastard.
Right.
It isn't until toward the end when he starts going crazy with the gun and he's moving around in a circle laughing like the Joker that Lamont Cranston's able to get into his mind and then show him the fake exit.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was
and
a
I like
really
this too
cool
because
thing.
it shows that he has a weakness. Like he's not just this indestructible supernatural
Yeah.
character.
Right, yeah.
Like he can be hurt. And-
There's a couple of moments because he gets crossbowed into the shoulder
Yep.
through the
Right.
shadow and has to come out of the shadow.
which is cool. That's a cool effect.
I mean, you know, there have been episodes of the radio show where it's like, you can't see me. Ha ha, Shadow. I see you are standing in a puddle, though.
Yeah.
I see you. Oh, yeah, that's right. And they shoot him. I mean, that's how, you know, if there was a scene that took place, aha, I've apprehended crooks. Oh, wait, we're in the snow. Shit. You know, that has happened as well.
Manages to wound the Shadow, who in turn manages to escape a would-be watery grave by reaching out telepathically to Margot, who comes to the rescue.
In like 2 seconds.
Right, yeah.
She's like, boom, there, no traffic.
Took the A train.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's not a cop on the street, so nobody's going to pull her over.
I think Shrevey drove her, and we just didn't see it.
Yeah, for
Probably.
sure.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Lamont and Margot track Khan down to the Hotel Monolith, which has been hidden from view of the city by Khan. Like, clearly more powerful with the clouding than
Can I tell you something that bothers me about movies?
In general?
Like, in general.
Right.
Like, I get that villains sometimes can be powerful, like more powerful than the hero.
Yes.
But this dude trained with this master for longer than Shiwan Khan did.
Yeah.
Right.
And he is able to disguise an entire building. He's so powerful to the point where, like, Alec Baldwin was like, holy shit, he made a building disappear.
Yeah.
Can I do that?
I can't believe it.
I don't even know if I can do that. Can I?
He probably just never thought of it. Why would I want to make a building disappear?
This is what we call the chosen path. Lamont Cranston is happy with the powers he has. He's like, because I can fight crime. Shiwan Khan
This
is
guy wasn't
evil.
happy
He's like,
and-
this is not enough for me. Let's see what else I can do.
Right.
What other
That's-
David Copperfield shit?
It bums
can I
me out
do?
because then there's like it takes the creativity away from the heroes. Like, you don't have any fucking creativity, dude.
Yeah.
That's why I like the Green Lantern so much because it's all about how fucking creative.
That's
you can
true.
be
Yeah.
with that shit. Yeah, it's a ring, but like, how cool can you make shit be?
Right.
But like, yeah, that always bugs me about heroes when it's just like, no, but that guy trained you longer. I find you didn't master the dagger. The dagger's an asshole. But you should be able to make a fucking building disappear.
You
if
never knew
like.
how to treat that dagger.
Yeah,
you
he's
just
a-
never got
oh,
it.
he's a prick.
Take it
He
up for
really
dinner
is.
first.
That dagger's an asshole.
Not one of my favorite characters in film. That's not a nice.
The dagger?
Not a nice guy.
Not a nice
Not
dagger.
nice guy.
Who would have thought a living weapon could be so mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Serious piece of shit, that dagger. Continue.
Come on, Derek, take a stab at it.
Khan and Farley plan to make more bombs moving forward and leave Reinhardt to die at the hands of his own bomb. I love he turns to him, he says, you can make these? Oh, then we don't have any use for him anymore. Kill him.
Yeah.
The Shadow makes his run at the hotel, it was very much like it reminded me of the Punisher Warzone.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh,
once.
when just going, it's the gauntlet moment. Yep.
Khan senses him and sends Farley to find him. Like that's, I guess he did come closest to killing him. So I guess
He's got things
At
to
first,
do.
I was like, "Why are you sending him?"
He's waiting for his aeroplane. There is an aeroplane coming for us.
He sends Farley to find him and kill him. Obviously, he's no match for him, and he tricks Claymore into jumping to his death. He then,
that's just wild.
Yes. He then once again battles the dagger, but focusing, he redirects the dagger at Khan. You know what I love? My favorite thing with the dagger is in the beginning when it's fighting Lamont or Yinko, and it flies and lands in his thigh. It reminds me of Ace Ventura. Remember when he gets the
the two spears in his thigh?
yeah.
He's just like walking around holding them? Yeah.
Charges too
grabbing
much. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I want that dagger.
Bumblebee tuna.
The hotel becomes visible finally as Khan is attacked, and his loss of concentration also causes Reinhardt's mind to become clear again. In a last-ditch effort, Khan flees and escapes through the sarcophagus, which has now become a really cool escape hatch. Lamont chases him down as Margot reunites with her father, and the two attempt to disconnect the bomb. Lamont uses Mirror Master Magneto powers and defeats Khan. However, he doesn't kill him and instead Khan wakes in an asylum where he finds he is unable to use his abilities, having had a frontal lobe of his brain removed by a doctor.
A little bit of a lobotomy.
Yep, by a doctor who is turns out to be an agent of the Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, Lamont and Margot share a kiss before he heads off to continue his vigilante.
Go get him, Tiger.
That's funny.
How will you know
be
where
home
to
early.
find
I'm making
me?
pot roast.
I know. Well done.
Yeah,
That's the Shadow.
very fun movie.
Succinct.
You want to do categories?
Fire out some categories.
All right, favorite scenes.
My favorite scenes are, first of all, the opening on the bridge, because it's right out of the radio show. Starts off with the guy, the bad guy's doing something bad. They'll laugh first, and then they don't see him in the show. He's just a voice. So, and then he kicks ass, and he does the same thing here. Very cool. Love when he goes over to the scientist with the cement blocks, and he pulls out the two guns, and you think he's going to shoot him, but shoots the cement off his feet. Yeah, it's a reckless thing to do.
I really like that he turns into Daniel Baldwin. I used to hate it, but now I really like it.
I thought the same thing. Whenever he is in shadow mode,
Yeah, you think he looks like Daniel Baldwin?
It looks like Danny stepped in to play him.
I'm going to tell you who he looks like. He looks like Sam Waterston.
Yeah, he does.
With the nose and the eyes, and I'm like, why didn't he just get McCoy to play the Shadow? He looks exactly like him.
Oh, totally.
And that part was kind of cool. I mean, in the comics and everything, Lamont just looks like that. He just, he's a dapper man, but he's got the hawk nose, and that's just the way he is. And,
he just normally looks that way. He doesn't
exactly.
Yeah.
And in this, they kind of he transforms his whole face, so it's not. Oh,
Yeah.
you're Lamont with a cloth on you, and I like that. That's cool.
He's not really transforming. He's
Or
making
he's
other people
clowning
think.
people.
He's
Yeah.
hypnotizing people.
You're right.
He's doing the hotel trick.
Absolutely
with his face.
right.
He's using his Jedi mind tricks to
Right.
make people think he's a totally different person.
And he does that in the car too, when Peter Boyle sees him in the rearview mirror, and he's slowly morphing.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
And I like that. I like that Peter Boyle is in on it. He knows that he's Lamont.
Well, he's right. So he's right out of the comics too. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to equate him in the Batman. He's kind of like the Alfred.
He's Alfred.
He's the working class Alfred.
He reminds me of like Chaz, from Constantine.
Yeah,
just kind of hangs around.
Yeah,
hangs out
helps
with
him out.
Yeah. Drives him around sometimes.
I love that scene, and I love the scene when Shiwan Khan and him first meet in his hideout, and they have that Brooks Brothers conversation.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any American bourbon? And he's sounding like Christoph Waltz, even though he doesn't.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've developed a taste for it.
You American. That is a nice tie. And then he's wearing the tie the next time he sees him. These two are awesome together.
Yeah.
There is a great cat and mouse hero and villain exchange that you don't often, or you didn't often see back then. There's a lot of things in this movie that you did not see or had not seen at the time. You see it more now, and this is one of them. The villain, and it's kind of like Heat.
Yeah.
There's this conversation between the two adversaries.
There's respect. There's a level of respect.
I really
Honor
like
among
that.
thieves kind of thing.
Those are the two that always stick out.
Yeah.
I love the whole movie, really. There's not really a scene I actually hate, but I do think these are the two scenes I always remember.
Yeah.
So those are mine.
Mm-hmm.
I like you. I love the bridge scene. It's such a Batman feel because he's based in part on the Shadow. So
Mm-hmm.
that whole scene is great. The Cobalt Club scenes are just eye candy for me. I love those. Lamont in the tank fighting Claymore and then fighting for his life. I really I dug that. I love how he finds the holes to breathe and you don't know what's going to happen. I loved that it let you know that he can. Like I said, I love that it let you know he can be defeated. He's not untouchable. And I think a good hero needs weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for sure.
yeah.
Agreed.
Great scenes.
Yeah. No, I love the opening bridge scene too. It's a great introduction to the character.
And you did the black and white thing.
And I watched it in black and white.
Oh, really?
I turned the
You watched
color
it in
down.
black and white?
Yeah, because I was telling Mark, I think it was even before we decided to do Pulp February, that I saw a video on YouTube. And it was all about the Shadow. And I was like, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. The guy that was reviewing it said, watch it in black and white. It adds a whole other element to it. And he was absolutely right.
Yeah.
When I watched it Sunday night, I turned the color all the way down on my TV. So it was black and white. It was amazing.
That's cool.
It really was. So yeah, next time you guys watch it in black and white. Turn the color down on your TVs.
Kind of makes you wonder why people waste their money on the Chrome edition of Mad Max when they can just turn the color off on their TVs.
Yeah.
I think people forget that TVs do that.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have time to do that.
Yeah.
You're lucky if a person puts a DVD in to watch now.
I know,
It's
right?
oh,
Unfortunately, it doesn't work the opposite on a Zack Snyder film. There's no putting
you
color
can't.
back into something that is devoid of color to begin with. But no, I did love that bridge scene. It was, like you guys said, it was so Batman the Animated Series. It was so Tim Burton's Batman, but it had its own thing going on, and I loved it. It was such a great introduction to the character. So atmospheric.
Yeah.
It really was.
Like I could hear the Batman animated series music.
No,
like,
there was a lot of... It's true. There was a lot of times where I thought it was like going in that direction. Like the music... who did the music on
Jerry
this one?
Goldsmith.
Jerry Goldsmith.
And
Who
the
did
opening
one of the Batman
theme
movies.
is amazing. Did he?
I think he did Forever and
no, that was Elliot Goldenthal. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are similarities. Don't be sorry.
I'll be back. I'm going to the penalty box.
I love this theme, though.
2 minutes.
I absolutely love. Although I
Five for Fighting.
Danny Elfman did the Spider-Man theme. Never mind.
Yeah.
I do love the score. The opening, the music throughout this movie.
Yeah.
The score is phenomenal.
The music was great.
I love it.
And like Derek, I also really like the tank scene where he's stuck in that sphere. It's just filling with water. That's one of the few scenes I remember from watching it originally.
Yeah.
And it was just as tense this time. I'm like, geez, how is he going to get out of this? And like you said, finding the bullet holes in the side and, using that to, suck a little bit of air so we can, buy some time and try to figure out another way to get out.
And before that, like Tim Curry just chews up the scene.
Oh, he
Like,
does in everything.
This is like it's not one of his best performances, but it might be one of his most fun to watch.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. I have fun watching him in this.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
Yeah, I think that could be said.
Well, and the only reason why he did it, he wanted to work with Ian McKellen.
Right.
That was the draw for him to do this movie. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, but he's great to watch in this. Yeah.
I really enjoy a lot of the action scenes. My favorite is the one where they're in Ian McKellen's lab and they shoot the arrows and stick them to the wall. And he has to crawl out, and then he starts shooting everybody with his guns. I think that's a really fun fight scene.
This is a superhero using guns, by the way.
Yeah.
Which
Very cool guns too.
Yeah.
This is around the time when Ninja Turtles were not even using their weapons. You got to remember this is nothing now, but for '94 when superheroes were very much kid stuff again, this movie had some kahunas to it.
Right.
Yeah, I think he takes a little bit too long to pull those guns out, but I like when he finally
They're
does.
very big guns.
They are.
They
Well,
get
he's just
stuck
like
in the
dancing
holster.
around, and then he's like, oh, actually, they caught me. I should probably take my guns out.
He started pulling them out like 4 minutes prior, but they're so big that it took him
It's
for a
like
while
the
to
Joker's
get 'em
gun
out.
in Batman. So.
It's an 88 Magnum.
I also like when he pulls his face off because it's a really unexpected scene.
It is.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like the effects
The nightmare that he has.
because you're like, what the fuck's going on right now? And he just pulls his face off in his Shiwan Khan.
Yeah,
I
we're
think it's
back
really
in that
fun.
cave in Empire
It's
again.
Yeah, right. It's fun. That's a fun scene. I like that.
What was the other movie that someone did that? They were like, there's a scene where he's looking in the bathroom and he's like tearing his
Poltergeist?
face off because he's having a
Poltergeist?
Yeah, you thinking
yes,
of
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Yes, in the back. Yep, that is exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Of. Good job. What's wrong with this movie? What doesn't work? You don't want to say, but
I don't want to
need
say
to.
because she looks good, but Penelope Ann Miller
I'm
looks
seconding this.
the part with Margot Lane, but I don't think she's that great. in
I
this
agree.
movie.
I did not think she was a
her
very good actress in
acting
this
is
at all.
Good in this or the following film, The Relic.
Yeah.
Which she also played a character named Margot. Go figure. Something happened to her. I seen her and stuff, and she's good. Kindergarten Cop. I like her in that. But
Yeah.
like, she's not very good in this.
Yeah, no.
She's got the look during the scene when she's talking about the dream. Very understood.
Yeah.
But there's parts in this when her acting, you're just kind of like,
I know.
It's a little cringy at times. I'm gonna have
I
to
agree.
go. I think there were other leading ladies.
Yeah.
You could have possibly gotten for Margot.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna jump because I'm piggybacking exactly. That was my weak point was Penelope Ann Miller.
Yeah.
Everybody, and she was the only one I didn't mention earlier today when I mentioned how stacked of a cast it was.
Because she doesn't have she's not stacked.
She's not.
She's very flat.
So is her acting, and
It's the dresses. It's the dresses.
The dresses don't help. Sure, yeah.
yeah, I just thought that she just couldn't hold her own against everybody else. I think. I don't know.
I don't, and honestly, I don't even think Ian McKellen is that great in this one.
Ian
either.
McKellen was underused.
Yeah.
Underused though.
That's
but he's
the part.
Not
Well,
in
and
it,
the fact that
he's
he was
not in it enough to like hurt the film.
And
in
for the
any way.
majority of it, he's under a
sleepwalking.
trance.
Exactly.
So there's really not much for him to do.
But this isn't the best thing I've seen him in either.
With her, I think she gets better as the movie progresses.
Ian
See, I
McKellen.
think she gets worse.
See, I think once she turns into a sex pot, I was just like, oh, okay, this is odd.
No,
This is
Ian
different.
McKellen in this movie is Hawkeye in the first Avengers movie. He's
He's
totally
just-
sleepwalking
right,
through the whole
okay,
thing.
right.
He's not himself.
Exactly.
He's
right.
just like a mindless drone.
Right.
And unfortunately, they got such a great actor to do something like that. Because,
And this was before his like big role.
it's 5 years before Gandalf.
Before
Gods and
Magneto.
Monsters.
Gods and Monsters
I
was
saw
3
him in
years
Gods
after.
and Monsters after.
I think that was my first
connect.
introduction to him too.
Right, because I had no
Yeah.
idea who he was when I saw
No.
him in '94.
When was Gods and Monsters, man?
98.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
There's other little
Yeah,
things.
go
but I
ahead,
can
Derek.
get by
I'm
them.
just I piggybacked on Mark.
I don't know. I find her. I find her
You
attractive.
can find
I don't
her
have.
any way you want.
I do too, and
Yeah.
I think she's fine.
Like
in
when
this
she's
film,
at the
and-
club, those dresses, she looks the part.
She looks good.
I mean,
I
do,
will
would I
agree.
pref-
She has the look.
Yeah.
do I
Not
wish
a
it was
problem.
Gretchen Mol? Yeah, but
There you go.
You know.
I think Gretchen Mol would have been better.
I don't know if she was
I think
around.
it's probably still the same.
Yeah, she
movie.
was.
Was she?
Gretchen
so.
Mol was big in the 90s, and then she fell off.
Yeah.
She should have been on my list last
Yeah,
week.
I like Gretchen Mol.
Yeah.
I think
I
it's the
love
same
you.
movie.
I
with
love you, Gretchen.
Penelope
You don't
and
think
Gretchen
you
Mol.
don't think she would have had any more?
I think Penelope Ann Miller is
like,
fine.
chops? Okay.
This is the age of we just need one actor in this movie. Whoever that lady is, cool.
Diane
she could be
Lane.
eye candy or
It should have
whatever.
been
Diane
it should have
Lane.
been
Every
Diane
once in a
Lane.
while,
Yeah,
every once in a while, you get an
Diane
actress
Lane.
who's really, really good.
Yep.
There was
that
no way
you're
you were going to get
surprised.
Michelle Pfeiffer, but you could have gotten somebody Michelle Pfeiffer-ish. Or Diane
Well, was he
Lane.
Penelope Ann Miller,
Was Alec and
Michelle Pfeiffer-ish.
Basinger, were they
a thin
together at this
blonde
point?
woman.
Was Kim Basinger and Alec Baldwin married at this point?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
you know, I
probably
don't-
were.
Maybe.
Because you almost could have had her.
Yeah.
They did
but,
get away
that's,
together, right?
That's another
Yeah.
like Vicky Vale kind of character. I don't know if she'd want to do that again. Somebody popped in my mind though, and then I lost
stunt
them
casting.
Oh.
Well, I mean, but
Oh.
she did. I mean, clearly she's a fan. Or the director is a fan of her because she was in Darrell McCoy,
Okay.
so which he directed. So I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Okay, maybe I don't know.
So yeah,
So what doesn't work for you?
the face is a little wonky. We touched on this already.
Oh, the Daniel Baldwin.
As like, and no, it's not Daniel though. It's Billy.
You think it's more Billy?
Billy Baldwin?
Yeah,
Probably
Daniel.
Billy.
Danny's kind of. I don't know. He's got
Steven.
a different shape. No,
There's
Steven.
no Steven at any point. There is Danny, and I see Billy.
But
too.
Billy,
yeah.
because Billy looks the most like Alec, I think. But he's got that like a different shaped nose and the squinty eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a little wonky. Which
wonky
I
face.
almost feel like they just should have used Billy. Like
One of his
have it
brothers
be a
to do
different
it,
Baldwin
yeah.
who looks like him but doesn't look like him. You know.
Yeah, but he can't act like Alec.
But then you gotta like do the voice. And,
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
to
But you
fix
could
it in
dub
post.
that.
Or,
Just cast
yeah, I
Sam
just think
Waterston.
it's fine.
You
Just
would have been fine.
Put some makeup on him. It's fun.
I'm
It's
gonna
fun
go
to
with
see.
that. His hair was dark then. He was younger. He could have totally pulled off
It's
this
fun
character.
to see Alec Baldwin in some makeup. It's
Yeah.
fun.
It is. I mean, I like it because it's the look of the
con-
book
yeah.
and good. I mean, they tried. They tried to make
Yeah.
it look like the book,
And they did a
you know.
good job. Like it definitely feels
Right.
like a pulp comic or
This
you
was
know,
this
something
was
that you-
around the same time as Steel, so at least
that's
they
true.
went to the source material. Let's be happy they did that.
Some of the effects leave more to be desired as well. But and like and there's no explanation about the Mongol warriors. I mentioned that. That kind of
How they got to.
yeah. Like all of a sudden, he's just got an army all of a sudden.
I always thought they were just these random henchmen that he had under mind control, like the Mad Hatter
Right,
did.
right.
But I guess,
And they
I
just,
guess
like,
not.
stole
They're
a bunch of
actual
costume, like,
Mongolian-
armor.
Yeah.
And like I said, I hated the Empire State Building scene, and it's mainly because
Because you don't like heights.
But it's more not just the heights; it's the reason why I'm afraid of heights. Because my biggest fear is going to a place like the Empire State Building and either witnessing someone do something like that, or
having it done to you.
Some crazy person, just decides to throw someone off a building. Like
but that's what makes it so good.
Totally not logical. Totally not
No.
like something that ever really will happen.
Well, it's
but
a good thing that when we went to New York, we didn't go up into any
Oh,
skyscrapers.
And
the next time we do go to New York, if you see anybody in a Mongolian outfit, don't make fun of his wardrobe.
Yeah, that's right.
It's true.
You'll be fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's not
No, he
big.
wants to wear a dress. Let him wear a fucking dress.
Yeah,
man.
don't say anything. How
Are you doing the cosplay contest later? Because did you make that yourself? That looks awesome.
Live and let
Don't
live.
kill me. Your sword is foam, right?
That's true. That's true. Now with Comic-Con, those guys nobody would give him a
How do you
second.
etch all those patterns? That's great. Brian,
Is that 3D printed?
Oh,
yeah, I did mine.
that was the
yeah,
only
no,
one-
I'm
only
piggybacking
thing?
on Mark. My only, Penelope Ann Miller was my only gripe about this movie. I really thought that she was not a very good actress in this.
No. See, I can't stand her in Big Top Pee-wee.
All right.
I don't remember her in Big Top
yeah,
Pee-wee.
but she plays a bitch in that movie. Yeah. He's
So,
his first girlfriend.
We all have our Penelope
Yeah.
and do's and do not do's. Okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Except Tito.
Tito, what
loves-
didn't work?
Tito loves
She's just fine.
everybody.
What do you have a
You
problem
know what the
with?
biggest problem with this
Penelope.
movie is? Lamont Cranston. His lack of backstory.
Yeah.
He was a monster, right?
He was a bad guy. Yeah.
Right.
What the fuck was he when he was
Before
a rich
that.
guy in New York? Was he just like raping chicks and fucking killing people? Like seriously.
I think he gave all
You
that
don't
up.
jump to fucking mass murder.
Well, didn't he was in the war?
Yeah.
And he
was a World War I pilot,
Yeah.
and I think he
gets
stayed
stranded
over
there or
there.
something,
Yes.
right?
None of which is explained in the
None.
film.
No,
And-
it wasn't.
and
It is a very weird opening.
All I know is
to
that
open with the
dude-
guy that you know becomes the Shadow, but he's this, and like I said, like very white guy.
Yeah.
But apparently he has all kinds of power in
Yeah.
Tibet.
So,
And
I
even
agree-
when he had no shirt on, he was wearing a sweater.
Yeah, that's a man's man.
That is a man's man.
I agree with Tito on this. I don't understand why I think they definitely should have went a little more into the backstory.
Right.
But again, this movie coming out when it did, when superheroes were kiddish again,
Yeah.
the fourth Batman or the third Batman movie had come out. We had Steel, we had the Phantom, we
I
had.
know. So you're saying that, but I don't actually feel like this movie is very kiddish at all.
I'm
Just throwing people off a
It's got
building.
dark- yeah,
no,
it's got some darkness.
that's where I'm going
Oh, okay.
with this.
All right.
While all this is going on with these other movies, David Cope writes a story about a superhero that starts off as a bad guy.
Yeah.
This isn't, I can cloud men's minds. I'm going to fight crime. No, he kind of has a Spider-Man thing going.
Right.
He's got this power with him, and he decides to be a dick with it. He decides to be a warlord or whatever, a crime lord. And he's forced into being a superhero. It's like, look, you either, get on the right path or, you're dead. I mean, that guy was going
He
to...
plays good guy very well. I don't
Yeah.
get the I'm struggling with what I used to be, which was just a fucking sociopath.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I
you
just,
said it's
that
overtime.
jump doesn't make
Overtime.
sense.
And
to
they
me.
probably could have done a little bit more backstory with him just in those scenes with Johnathan Winters.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to have two
you're gonna
scenes
have
with
him be
him
the
at
uncle.
this restaurant, like
See, I think he's good, but I think
Yeah.
he's wasted in this movie. He doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. You got
probably had a couple of
Jonathan
scenes, I
Winters but I don't know. There's a whole backstory to the Shadow that explains all this. None of it, unfortunately, in the movie. But with the character itself, I mean, I don't even think Lamont Cranston was his real. I believe he had another name.
Yeah, I forget what it was,
He took
but I
it from a
remember
dead
reading
guy.
Yeah.
So
Always like
there's a
Mad Men.
whole. There's a whole backstory that's not covered about him.
I think if you're not going to do it, you make this movie. He's a rich guy that got lost in the fucking Tibetan mountains because he was spending money. Like
Yeah.
Bruce
Right.
Wayne stumbled
Sure.
upon this guy. He taught him how to cloud men's minds, and he goes back home to be a good dude.
Right.
Yeah.
You can still have the Shiwan Khan kills this guy and comes to New York to start some shit.
And I think nowadays, when superhero movies were 2.5 hours, they would do that.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
you were not going to get it back then.
12-year-old me, cool. 42-year-old me is watching
Yeah.
this movie. He's like, oh, this dude was like fucking Eric Trump, just going out.
What was he doing before?
He was just going out shooting rhinos for fun and putting their heads on walls. Like,
He did have animal trouble.
Killing hookers.
if
and,
you would go to Tibet and murder like a bunch of people, then I could only imagine what you were doing in New York before you got there. So that just kind of, not something I thought of previously, but
I
as I'm
always
watching
thought
it now, I'm
I
like,
always
eh.
thought it was the war. The war
Right.
broke him, and then he.
in my mind,
turned to
that's
drugs.
what I was
That's
telling
what I think.
myself.
He was
is
yeah.
The horrors of war kind of just turned him
Made
from
him a
that.
That's what I
monster.
Right,
think.
because because in war you see evil.
Yeah.
You see how evil people can be, and so
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you beat your wife maybe, or you do some drugs. I don't know that you murder an entire race of people. Like, I don't know. I just can't make the connection. I see what you're saying. I just,
Fair enough.
But the problem is there's no mention of any of that.
Yeah.
There's no.
Maybe they were
there's
planning
no
on.
they
mention
could have
of
at
any
least
of that.
dropped some breadcrumbs.
If you're going to
throughout.
change it, just
Yeah.
simplify it for me.
Do you
is all
think
I'm
if
saying.
we got a sequel that would have covered that? Do you think?
Oh,
they
I would have loved that.
Maybe they were planning on doing something.
If they had a sequel that to explore more of his backstory,
they would introduce some type of old war buddy
with the Shadow. Yeah,
or someone he thought was dead, and they want revenge because they feel he left them behind.
Stealing the guy's identity. I love that.
We should write this. It should be a 3GD presents.
That's right.
I mean, he has all these agents who he saved, and you know Shreve's from the radio show Burbank. He's the guy at the control center who he is big to do in the comics and the radio show. He's only mentioned here.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they might have been setting up for more stories.
Right.
I love that Batcave inner sanctum that he had.
Yeah. Oh, it's
I
awesome.
love that
great.
room with the round TV screen with the iris. That slid open and closed, and that was cool.
And you don't know who is and who isn't an agent. It's like a Manchurian candidate for superheroes. It's awesome. So, but
great mansion too.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. I love the fucking
beautiful.
mansion.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just I just don't know enough about the character.
You want more.
I can't see how he makes that leap back to being good when you're just a fucking monster of a person.
Right.
Well,
Like it doesn't work for Shiwan Khan.
That's all Tuku's doing.
I feel like Shiwan Khan.
Well, then we needed that montage.
And that's
we
that's
needed
the
a
thing. I
montage.
didn't see the change from.
You're the
bad to
best.
good.
Hurrah!
Right. I want to see him waxing and waxing off.
Phrasing.
Yeah, that came out wrong, and so did that.
That was it.
Which is weird though too, because I can't say his last name. Macaulay.
Mulcahy.
Macaulay is great with backstories. I mean, Highlander, the first half is him training. So I'll bet you it was just some suits like, nope, this is. I'll bet you he probably had this whole thing laid out, and they were like, no, get right to the action, right to the crime fighting. It's got to be like Batman. I can see it.
Yeah.
And that's how
a giant spider in the third act.
Well, that's the thing too. Did you guys notice with the Hall of Mirrors thing that wasn't really a Hall of Mirrors, but all the glass breaking like Highlander did at the very end?
Yeah.
Mulcahy's got a hard on for that shit, man.
Oh yeah,
those are his doves.
That's his trademark.
Yeah.
Favorite and least favorite characters.
Well, I guess I kind of covered that.
Yeah.
Character-wise, though, my least favorite character. I mean, she's not great, but she does what Margot Lane does in the in the. She's written the way she's written in the radio show, so I'll give it a pass. She's there. She helps. She's got the telepathic link. The character is cool. That they kind of branch out with her. So I'm not going to say Margot Lane. I'm going to actually say this Ian McKellen's character.
Yeah.
He's a scientist and he's colorblind. That's all you really need to know about him.
That's right.
And there's really nothing
red and the
more
green
to
wire.
him. I kind of would. I just feel like it's not that he's bad. It's just the least character I'm not interested in him like I am anybody else in that movie.
You're not that invested in him.
No, thank you. That's the word.
Agreed.
Favorite character?
My favorite character would be the Shadow.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just, I love this character. If I had to pick another character, it would be John Lone. Shiwan Khan. This is
He's a great bad
actor.
guy too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had him as my least favorite.
Shiwan Khan?
Yeah, I called him ShamWow.
ShamWow?
Khan.
No, because I like John Lone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But he starts off so badass and untouchable. Like he's really scary. And as much as I do like the dialogue and the scene where they meet, it kind of, for lack of a better word, pussifies him. Like
so?
all of a sudden, he's this like I said, he's kind of like fanboying, and it takes away that kind of badassness. And from that point on through the movie, granted he kills the guy in Empire State Building, but like, I don't know. He's not.
He kills everybody.
But I feel.
Kills a lot of people.
But I feel like he does
it
it in a way that it's not as menacing as he was when he came out of that sarcophagus. Like when he stepped out and he's just like, he doesn't say anything. He's just got the scary eyes.
Yeah. And everybody thinks it's Genghis Khan personified.
Right.
See, I kind of think he looks foolish because then he's walking around the streets of New York and then people are like walking by and no one's looking at him.
Yeah.
And
I'm thinking like if they had this throughout the whole movie, it would get a little silly after. I like when he's in the suit and he's being all nice, but he's killing everyone. He's tossing people off a building. He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
He's making everybody kill themselves. He's got the guy jumping out of the building. He's got fake Kramer driving into a
that's the thing.
gasoline. This is again when superhero movies were being geared toward children again.
When he the scene with the taxi driver, like because I
that
remember
scene.
thinking at first, I'm like, why doesn't he just kill this guy? Because he's surprised that he has to pay for the ride.
You're
He's
making a
like,
record
what?
of my destination.
And I'm like,
he
oh,
doesn't
all
want-
right, so
he
he's gonna
doesn't
kill
want
him.
anybody to know where he is.
But like he doesn't at first, and then he does what he does, which is great. But like, I don't know. I think maybe I just needed more of him. I needed to see some more like real evil shit.
I mean, I get the impression that the legend of Lamont Cranston and his previous character, knowing those stories of what he did,
right?
Knowing that this guy, it seems like was even more vicious than he was.
Yeah.
And the training didn't work on Shiwan Khan, so it probably didn't work on Lamont Cranston. I wonder if that's what he thinks, because when he goes to New York, he goes looking for him, and he's trying to assimilate. He gets a suit. He's really trying to be New York. Lamont Cranston, not realizing that he's not the guy that he thought he was, so it kind of throws everything off.
So you want him to be scarier then? Is he not? Is that the?
Yeah,
because he's still villainous, but he's.
I just feel like he's
doing it
almost like two different types of villains, because he's this like scary monster type guy in the beginning.
Well, he's been asleep,
and then then he gets kind of like more playful, like a playful Bond.
It's the bourbon.
Kind of
the bourbon does it.
That's
once
that
he
will
drinks
do it.
Bourbon, he's like,
I guess
I'm
he
liking this sensory. Yeah,
it's like the elevator. He got a little gay.
Who let the con out?
That's what happens when you drink that drink, baby.
My favorite is actually Mo.
I do like Mo.
I mean, I love Peter Boyle anyway, but I like how he's so loyal to him, and he's just kind of like, it is what it is. Like he's not amazed by it.
Yeah.
He's not thrown off by anything. He's just like, this is my life now.
Yeah.
You know?
In the radio show, Mo is a little bit, what's the word, special. He's
like
almost
like a Jimmy Olsen.
He's
like
touched.
a Jimmy Two Times from Goodfellas. You know, hey, Mr. Cranston, where we going? Where? You know, that's how he is, and he's Shrevey. In this, they did away with that, and it's just Peter Boyle being the smart-ass captain. And I like that improvement of him.
Yeah,
definitely.
I like that one little scene that they had with him and his wife in the apartment.
Right.
Yeah. You know, he's getting ready to do the crossword or whatever it was, and he gets the call. He's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, dear.
I do like when he's standing with Penelope and Miller in the spot in the rain. He's like, you know what I love about this job? The excitement.
Yeah.
Some nice comedic touches.
Yeah.
Brian, what about you?
As far as my least favorite character, I am going with Penelope Ann Miller. She's, like I said, the one that stuck out to me. Nothing wrong with the character itself, but I think if it was played by a different actress, I would have liked her better. As far as my favorite character, it's definitely got to be the Shadow.
Okay.
Yeah, I go back and forth between Penelope Ann and Ian McKellan, but I probably go Ian McKellan because I enjoy Penelope Ann on the screen, where he has a couple of funny moments, but overall, knowing who Ian McKellen is, you're like, man, they just kind of just wasted, like you said, they wasted like a really good actor in a role that is kind of a throwaway.
Yeah.
Like and there's plenty of really good character actors in this film. They could have thrown anybody in there.
They could have made Margot a scientist.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have actually.
You know? Yeah. My favorite is I'm with Derek. I love Mo. I love Peter Boyle.
I do too.
Anytime he's involved in something, I'm very excited for it. And I like all the moments he has. And it's Alec Baldwin's movie. He's killing it in this thing, but my favorite character.
I could have used more Mo in the movie as well. Right. This movie needed more. I will say that. You guys have all hit the mark.
It does. It definitely feels short.
Yeah. This movie is very short.
Yeah.
And
it's an hour and 45 minutes.
But it feels like a short movie.
Yeah.
But it does leave a lot to be desired. It's a great movie, but you guys are absolutely right. I would love to have seen more story-wise.
And that's what I mean. Like, it's good for a first installment.
It is.
Yeah.
The bad thing is that they just didn't keep them going.
No. But at least it's completed. Like, it's a complete movie. It
can
be
like
viewed,
a start to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
Right.
Some friends become lovers.
Lovers become friends.
Enemies become friends. Friends become enemies.
That too.
MVP.
The MVP is the movie. I'm serious. Yeah. I've been saying it throughout this whole episode. This was a very daring movie for its time. They were trying to cash in on something that I don't think anybody has talked about, and I don't know how long. They were looking for heroes, and they had very little luck with a lot of the heroes coming out at this time. The Batman's popularity was like
waning
into silliness again. The heroes were getting silly again, and this movie does come along and does try to cash in a little bit. I mean, there was kid merchandise for this movie.
Yeah, they have action figures.
I have a lunchbox. I found it at a flea market. I'm like, ooh, look at that lunchbox. But I think for a supposed movie aimed at young superhero fans, this is a very adult film. There's a lot of death in this.
PG-13, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I give it props for trying. I can't pick one person in this movie as the MVP. I like pretty much everybody in it. I like how it's shot. I like the story. I love the music. So I'm just going to give it to the whole film. I know it's kind of lazy, but this is a standalone great superhero film in a time where there was not a lot of them.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's true. I'm giving it to the production designer, Joseph Nimick III.
Okay.
He also worked on Another 48 Hours, Terminator 2, Patriot Games, Judgment Night, Getaway, Twister, The Saint. I love the look of the film. It's kind of like Dick Tracy. Like Dick Tracy, as awesome as a lot of the other stuff in that movie is, the look of that film just is what really reels me in.
Yeah.
I love the 30s era stuff in general, across all kinds of different movies. But the Cobalt Club, the hotel, the Tibetan temple, there's just so much. I use the phrase all the time, eye candy for me.
And nobody will ever make it. Nobody can make another Dick Tracy movie unless Warren Beatty gives it its okay.
That's true.
That's right.
Amazing.
What happens when he dies?
I don't know.
He gets buried in the ground.
Yeah, we'll find out.
La La Land.
Was it last year?
La La Land wins. Yeah, right.
Was it last year I did that thing when we did the Geek Flag and I found out that he was doing those tiny little movies?
Oh yes.
Just to keep the rights going
yeah.
on Dick Tracy. I was like, holy God, I had no idea that all that was going on.
I don't think anybody else is asking for a Dick Tracy movie.
No.
But
Oh, I am.
are you?
I mean, not with him. I wish that he would give up the rights. And
Oh yeah, a new Dick Tracy movie could be cool.
I love
you know what? I want shows. With the way
television
series are
series
now,
would be cool, too.
The Shadow, Dick Tracy. You have time to go through all this mythology.
Yeah.
And I think more people clamor for shows now. Like people want a show that they can get addicted to.
Well, because with superheroes or crime, whatever, there's like so many villains and so many characters to branch it out rather than trying to cram them into one movie. Although I think Dick Tracy does a decent job.
Fitting them all
His
in.
entire rogues gallery is in that
characters
freaking movie.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and because it works very well with the story.
Yeah.
MVP, Brian?
I'm going with Russell McKellan. I'm going with the director. He directed The Highlander, one of my favorite movies from the 80s. And I remember when I watched The Highlander in the movie theater for the first time. And I don't know if you guys remember like the transitions that he had between scenes, especially going between the modern day and the past.
Yeah.
The scene, there was one scene in particular. He did a close-up of Connor McLeod's face that kind of morphed into a mural of the Mona Lisa. And it was seamless. And I love that. I'm like, this guy is awesome. One of the first directors that really stood out for me as a kid. I was still in high school when that movie came out. And not that he had those flourishes in this movie, but the tone was awesome. He really got the tone of 1930s New York. He got the tone of a gritty crime fighter. And even mixing in all the mystical shit, like he did with Highlander.
Yeah.
Highlander had its magic and whatnot in it, too.
Right.
And this movie, he just balances that stuff well. And I got to give it to him.
Yeah.
I think in the hands of a lesser director, it would have been a flop.
Yeah.
Sure.
So hats off to you, Russell Mulcahy.
Nice.
Excellent.
Tina?
And there's no Shadow 2.
No,
Quickening.
unfortunately, but
There's no
Shadow
Renegade
2, the
cut?
Renegade
From
cut.
Zeist.
No
Yeah.
Renegade cut. Of
Exactly.
the Shadow?
Need a Renegade cut.
Honest, I'm gonna give it to Alec Baldwin because I think if you don't have the right person, this movie might not work at all.
Yeah.
Because there are certain movies that they did do where it was like for money they made these movies and just like it's just not cast well.
Yeah.
Everybody else in the movie can kind of be anyone, but Alec Baldwin, the right place, the right time, the right actor. Like he could have played this character for a long time.
He could have been a
and
contender.
he would have been very good
in the superhero.
He could have been, for sure. So I think maybe as much as this movie wasn't a hit and they were banking on Alec Baldwin to make it one, I think it's successful because as a film because of Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Playing the character.
And what are you doing here?
Oh, well, I see you got it. When I saw
we kind of already mentioned all of them.
Yeah, we kind of did.
I'm going to go back to when I first saw this movie, and this was before I was a Seinfeld fan, so the only one I had that with was Max Wright, Dad from Al.
That's
that's
the
one I got.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, actually, all three museum people are recognizable characters.
Yeah.
Awful.
Joseph Meher, who was the museum manager, he's been in a ton of stuff.
Sister Act.
Yep.
He's the
Oh,
three Sister Act.
Yeah, for sure.
Ethan Phillips, who's the guard. Ton of Star Trek stuff. But yeah, Duke, the gangster. the taxi driver.
Duke is also from the radio show too. A lot of these, he is a villain from the radio show,
like a staple gangster type.
Yeah, I don't know if Farley Claymore was that.
And then, of course, the one we haven't mentioned is Al Leong. He shout out to him who plays the Yinko henchman who brings in James Hong to the temple.
Yes.
And he's in everything.
Always a henchman.
And he's always recognizable because he has the same goatee.
Oh, I saw something recently that was like a picture of him that was just said, when this guy appeared on screen, you know shit was about to
happen. Oh, yeah.
I've seen that.
You're absolutely right. No henchman has ever henched harder than he has.
Yeah, that's right. It's true. So true.
Dude loved his candy bars.
Right.
That's all I can think of. He doesn't have a candy bar in this one.
That's right.
Comedic timing. Impeccable.
I bet you improvised that, too.
Oh, that's how I feel.
Even in the script. I feel like he's like, if I'm going to be here, I'm having it.
And he played Genghis Khan in Bill and Ted.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Yes, he did.
We got the Khan connection.
Yeah, see?
With the
Khan connection.
That's right.
Yeah, and he liked Twinkies in that one. Yeah, he loved the Twinkies. That's how they get him to go into the... That's how they get him into the fucking time machine with the Twinkies.
Tossing Twinkies at him.
It's not human, but
that would have worked for me, too.
Any of us would have been lured in by Twinkies.
True that.
Brian, any other... What are you doing here? No.
No, I had Max right. That was I texted
Well,
Mark.
Brian had that with the whole cast after watching it. He's like, holy shit, Peter Boyle, holy shit.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said I saw this movie, but not in so long. I forgot how stacked this freaking cast was.
It is.
And then I said to Mark, I'm like, holy shit, Willie from Elf.
Yeah. And then you're like, Ian McKellan did this. I'm like, boy, you haven't seen this in a while.
I totally forgot he was in it. I forgot Tim Curry was in it. Holy shit.
No one controls my mind, Shadow. Got that little weight on him, and he's got the big gums on. He's like, so good.
The bug eyes.
I absolutely love him in this movie. Is he mad? We had sort of a misunderstanding.
I love that.
But he's like trying to hide the accent, but he isn't. He's just kind of like, I don't care.
He's just going full Tim Curry.
That whole scene with him, because then Khan's like, he's trying to say like that he want you want to be a king in my kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or a prince, more of a prince, or a duke, or whatever you see fit.
You never go full Tim Curry.
You know what I love about this movie? Tommy guns. I freaking love Tommy guns.
For sure.
Any movie that has a Tommy gun firing scene, I'm on board.
I believe you, Mark. But my Tommy gun don't. Yeah. So that's The Shadow.
That's The Shadow.
Nice.
Thumbs up for all. Awesome.
Good job, boys.
I'm getting tired of picking movies you guys are liking. I got to get back to pissing you off again.
Let's see. What's this next month's theme?
Oh, and the March of Madness.
Oh, God.
All right. This is how I can get back at you.
Yeah.
All right. Enjoy this now, folks.
It's all Neil Breen and Tommy Wiseau movies all month long. Mark's idea is to drive us all mad.
I've got my list. Well, I can only pick one. So, geez. I won't go with Neil Breen though, but I will say, glad you like this movie because I absolutely love this movie.
The rest of the dads in our audience, thank you for that.
Yes,
You're
thank
welcome.
you.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
that.
I want people to listen.
Yeah, God.
Geek flag.
You.
Me? What's making our geek flag fly? The only thing I got right now is, other than seeing the Fantastic Four trailer, which I thought it was
fantastic.
It was good.
Yeah, it looks fun.
I'm gonna go. I started. I finally saw Benicio del Toro in
Sicario.
Thank you. In Sicario, a movie
did you?
Tito has been recommending for a while now. I finally
Good
saw
movie.
it. Excellent movie.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Emily Blunt, right?
Yeah,
Emily
Emily Blunt.
who's fantastic. The guy from Get Out, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Forgive me. He's great. Everybody's great in this movie. Loved this movie. I am going to see the second one. I heard
Day of the Soul Dad?
Yeah, I heard it's not as good, but I'm still going to check it out. And I also started watching Bosch. On Amazon. I've been in the mood for another cop show, and you can only watch Law and Order so long. And I like Titus Welliver a lot.
Yeah.
I think he's a great actor.
He is.
I love him in this show. I'm halfway through the first season, and so far I'm really digging it. I'm digging the story. I'm digging the characters. The late Lance Reddick's in the show. I really like him.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but if you're into
that's a few seasons in,
Crooked
right?
Cops,
It's been on for a little while.
It's been there's another spin-off series, Bosch Legacy now that's out.
Nice.
Hieronymus Bosch, Harry Bosch, man. I just took a chance on it because again, I like Titus Welliver a lot, and I'm like, see if he can carry a show, and he can. They're based on these great
Books,
books by
right?
Michael Connolly. I
Yeah.
think his
Oh,
name.
wow.
Yeah, and he also had help developing the series. Great stuff,
Nice.
Classic cop action, serial killer stuff thrown in there. It's a great show. So if you're into that stuff, check it out.
Cool.
Nice. Cool. I talked about it with you guys earlier, but Royal Rumble was this past Sunday, and that was fun. Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, insane match. Some crazy ladder spots. I'm surprised they were able to walk away. Logan Paul sucks.
I saw that. I'm like,
Alexa Bliss is back. Jey Uso wins. Some
that's
good
what you
stuff.
meant by Bliss is back.
Yeah, the Bliss is back.
I thought you meant the ice cream
Which is
restaurant.
funny because
I mean, that's
Bliss
back
Brothers.
too.
Bliss Dairy. Well, and the funny thing is I said I posted that, and then a minute later, I think she, like, you could see her saying that, like, she actually said the because the bitch is back. I don't know. It's just,
Oh, like an Alien 3 or Alien.
no, like the Elton John.
Elton
song.
John.
See, Alien 3 had the bitches back for
Yeah.
the tagline, so I thought we were doing that. Never mind.
Could be.
Did Elton John write the song after?
No, he did it before.
Maybe.
I don't know who
That unreal
borrowed from who.
fuck.
Yeah, that song goes back to the 70s.
He's the Bob Kane of fucking songwriting.
Well, it's true.
Stealing
Yeah.
shit.
Because
He
he
just
had
writes
the
the
other
music.
guy that,
Yeah.
Oh,
he
Bert.
doesn't do
Bert writes
Bernie
the-
Taupin.
Bernie.
Bernie Taupin does the lyrics and
Did he die in poverty?
who? Bernie Taupin? He's
Yeah.
still alive.
Well, then he's fine.
You know when I started quoting
What?
Monty Python?
You did for what?
Remember, it's Eric
Hopefully
Idle
not during sex,
and Michael
'cause-
Palin. They're the married couple that go to the restaurant. And John Cleese comes over and
Yeah,
gets
yeah,
on top.
yeah.
of
Good
yeah,
conversation.
dude,
And he's
yeah.
I like Burt Bacharach. Burt, and he says something like that.
Yeah.
Burt just wrote the music.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know Nietzsche was a philosopher. That's my favorite movie, by the way. I don't know why. I love that
The
one.
meaning of
Oh,
life.
that scene.
And my other thing was I'm a big fan of the Sniper Elite series. It's a sniper in World War II. This guy Carl.
Game?
Huh?
Video game.
Yeah, it's a video
Okay.
You're
game.
not a sniper now.
No.
Oh, all right.
But it's
nice
a
shirt you're
really cool game, and they just put out a new one. Their sixth game, Sniper Elite Resistance. New character that you play as. It's not. There's not a lot of like new things about it, but sometimes it's just fun when you played a game so many times to like have a new level to play, a new area to explore. And it's no better time than now to enjoy hunting and killing Nazis.
True.
Okay.
Brian?
My only thing really is I saw the movie Flight Risk last night with my dad and my brother, and I really liked it. This movie is directed by Mel Gibson. It's got Mark Wahlberg in it, Topher Grace, and you knew the name of the actress that was in it. She was in.
I did, and I forgot it.
I did too.
The Gentleman.
Yeah, she was in The Gentleman.
Downton
Anyway,
Abbey.
the story is.
Gretchen Mall.
I wish.
The story is it's the three of them are on a small plane going from Anchorage, Alaska to Seattle. They're transporting Topher Grace, who's a witness for the mob. He's testifying against some bad guys, and they want to take him out. So Wahlberg, it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's really no surprise, but Wahlberg disguises himself as the pilot, gets on the plane, and in midair, shenanigans go down. And a lot of shit happens. It's really good. It's really tense. Basically, just the three of them in a small plane, this whole movie. People come and go over the radio. That's about it. She's talking to her bosses. They're talking to people in the tower to try to figure out how to land the plane, because at one point they do incapacitate Wahlberg for a little bit. And
Can't keep it
Gotta
up.
get Karen
the
Black.
guy down.
Like a Karen Black.
And it was a lot of fun. I encourage people to check it out. It's really good. If you don't see it in the theater, definitely check it out when it comes to streaming, because it was a really good time.
Nice.
Really good movie. And like you guys, I'm sorry, Tito. I'm really excited about Fantastic Four.
Looks good.
Out of all the new Marvel stuff, that's what is really exciting. It's making me feel like I did when stuff came out pre-Infinity War.
Yeah.
It's the only one that really sparked me. I mean,
It's
I'm looking.
a good-looking movie.
It really is. I love the retro style. I even love that they put fucking Herbie, the robot, in it, which I didn't like from the cartoons, because he was the one who took over for the Human Torch.
Oh, okay. See, I
in the
didn't know that.
70s cartoon, they had Herbie the
I did
robot.
not know that.
It was the thing, Reed and Sue and Herbie, and that was your Fantastic Four.
All right.
And they put him in the movie. I don't really know what his story was in the comics, but it was
car.
The Fantastic Car looked awesome. I love the 70s vibe. Love that we're getting an actual Galactus. I thought the Thing looked like the Thing should look.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that they had him in the trench coat
With
and
the
the
hat,
hat,
yeah.
like disguising himself.
So this is the only thing that the Rabbit fans are getting. You know, they got to find something.
It
was
is the
Superman's-
voice, right?
It was
Yeah.
Superman's face in the
Yeah,
Superman
yeah.
trailer. It's Ben Grimm in
Yeah,
this movie. Either
yeah.
the voice or they say the
I heard-
CGI doesn't look very good.
Yeah, but
I disagree.
I think it was-
I thought it
Yeah,
looked
it was
fantastic.
really good.
Pun
Yeah.
intended.
I don't mind the voice. I think the
That's
Pun
voice is
intended.
good. The
I
voice
even-
is good.
I even put that
I
on,
love the
on
Thing.
our Facebook, page
Facebook,
when
yeah.
I linked the trailer. I said, this looks fantastic. And
Ah.
I was unapologetic then, and I'm unapologetic now.
Heck yes.
See
And
this one when it
and
comes
I like
out.
that shot of the four of them at the end. They're on that stage, and
It
it's a
looks like the
playoff-
Beatles.
Yes,
the
yep,
Ed Sullivan
the Ed
stage.
Sullivan show.
I,
Yep.
I thought that too. Yeah, with the arrows.
Are we going to get the scene with at the end in the wedding car waving his hand out, just like
I hope
Corman,
not.
Fantastic.
That's the only thing you don't see in the trailer is Mr. Fantastic.
Stretching.
being
Stretching,
fantastic.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's where all-
Can't give away everything.
all the
So
good
you you were a
CGI
big
is
fan of them?
No.
Oh no,
I
thought
really
you were.
wasn't. No,
You just
but
know more.
but it's just got that vibe. I really want to see how.
Was anybody here a Fantastic Four fan?
Not really.
Never.
I mean, I saw all the other movies
Same.
that came out.
Me too.
Well, not the movies, but like what about the comics?
yeah.
I read a handful
Yeah,
here and
same.
there. I was
like
never.
like you said, I really only enjoyed them when they like showed up in other comics.
Yeah,
if they-
exactly.
if they were-
Exactly.
that was how I felt about Superman back then. I
Yeah.
didn't read Superman comics or Fantastic Four, but
Yeah.
if they showed up in like a Justice League or an Avengers story, then they're cool.
But I mean, you read any other Marvel comics, and you know their backstory through osmosis.
Sure.
And
That's
whether you're
true.
really into them or not, you think that and whether you think their powers are cool or not, they're still a good team. And I'm looking forward to seeing it. Fourth time's the charm. They got it right this time.
and we
hopefully.
will.
They got a great cast.
Yeah, they really
do.
do.
I think that's
It's no surprise
one
that
of the
the
draws.
fourth-
Fourth, I know.
movie.
I know.
Oh,
the
you think
good
they
one.
did that deliberately?
Yeah.
You think they made
They made
like
three shitty movies
ones
just so
on
that
purpose?
they could
Yeah.
make a good one.
I don't think so.
It's not the last movie, so I'm happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I like the cast, which makes me want to see it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely into it. I'm not a Fantastic Four fan at all.
But you are fantastic.
I try.
You
to
are. You're our Mr. Fantastic.
Oh.
And you are our fourth.
You know, we are.
Oh,
You are the Fantastic
You're the
Fourth.
Thing.
it's
That's
all
what you are.
happening.
I rather. I would take the Thing. I'd be
the
Ben.
Thing.
I'll take Ben or Johnny. I like Johnny.
I'll be Sue.
I
Maybe
wanna-
got a
I'll
great
take
rack.
Vanessa Kirby. Yo, I love Vanessa Kirby, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Vanessa
Yeah.
Kirby, man. Something about her.
Sometimes I wish
got
Mark would
something
turn
special.
invisible. Jesus.
Oh, hey yo.
Cheeto makes me
slapping
rock
you
hard.
on your thigh. Trying to give you a thigh slap earlier.
So who do you want? You in charge of
What's
Mr.
your geek
Fantastic?
flag there,
Mike?
Reed?
I'll take the torch.
I'm
hot.
You are hot.
I started watching the second season of Squid Games. I don't know if anybody's watching.
I
it.
haven't yet.
checked it out
It's on my
yet.
it's on my watch list.
My kids have watched it like
I don't
three
know. I
times.
heard
I'm
things.
sure.
People said they weren't into it. I think for a show that ended and they had to create a second season for because
Yeah.
Netflix was like, give me a second
we need
season.
more.
We need money.
This was a hit.
I think it's pretty good so far. I'm like 3 episodes in, and how they're kind of explaining what's going on. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of cool.
It's the same guy from the first season, right?
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the winner, he's back.
Yeah.
He
So
he's
it's
trying
like-
to get back to the island
Like why?
Well,
because
like
the
Lost.
games are still going,
No.
and now he's a fucking billionaire.
Yeah.
So not like Lost.
So now he's
Because
got,
he was in charge of the games the way it ended, right? Didn't
no. So he has the opportunity to leave, but then he sees at the end of season 1 he has the opportunity to leave, but he sees the guy who recruited him,
Yeah.
recruiting somebody else,
Oh, that's what it was.
and it clicks in his head, and that's where the show's supposed to end. But the show picks up with him. He's a fucking billionaire now, and he's got resources, and he wants to find those guys, and he wants to get back to the island, and he wants to stop the games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we are right now. There's a new group of people. There's some good act. It's clever. I think
So it's like if Katniss won the lottery,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. It's cool. It's definitely cool so far. It's not. I mean, the first season was a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Super original idea. Very
Yeah.
cool show. It's not going to be that, but I think it's a very entertaining so far.
Along those lines, too, Tito, I was thinking about this. You brought to the table last year a show that was on Netflix that was told out of order. Do you remember what that was
Oh,
called?
Kaleidoscope.
Kaleidoscope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of it the other day.
That's
Each
a
one was a
that
Yeah,
different-
yes, and
Yeah.
no matter who put it on, like they would watch it in a different,
different
order.
order.
different order.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure, but
Yeah.
somebody's choosing it for you.
Whoa.
So I guess that
And
It's the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
it is.
That's the only thing that Fantastic Four was on mine, but we talked about it. Yeah, but that was it.
Cool.
All right. Okay, well, speaking of Fantastic Four, we have a couple of other episodes that have explored past Fantastic Four movies, and we were not all impressed, although our one on Roger Corman, which I think was one of our first Drink Till It's
I
Good,
think you're right.
is always a classic. And Brian,
A lot
if
of
they
people seem
want
to like that one.
Yeah, if they
Yeah.
want to go back to it, where can they go?
They can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.3gdpodcast.com. As Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there, along with one-click buttons where you can easily subscribe to us. If you haven't already, what the hell are you waiting for? Hit one of those buttons to the podcast platform of your choice, and you will never miss an upcoming episode. Also, while you're there, please, if you could, rate and review the show. It helps us immensely. It somehow pushes our little show a bit further forward from the rest of the podcast pack, and most importantly, it makes it easier for others to find us while they're searching. Also, at the website, our social media presences are linked. We can be found at Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and the audio portion of our episodes can be found on YouTube every week as well. And let's see, we have a Ko-fi page. If you would like to help keep the show going, we would say please and thank you, because any small donation, or any donation of any size, I should say, it would be greatly appreciated, as it goes towards production costs. And as we always say, podcasting is not cheap. And I do believe that's pretty much it, gentlemen. So thank you out there, everybody, for listening. And I'm turning it back to you, Mr. Mark.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, gentlemen. And thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in. As always, tune in next week as we have another episode full of pulp, plenty of pulp in our Pulp Fiction Fantasy February. So until next time, for Three Geeky Dads, I am Mark.
I'm Derek.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tito.
Saying goodnight, and keep watching the skies, because eventually we will be elevated above the rest if you guys freaking review and give us some good ratings, for the love of God. Brian has been telling you for 6-7 years now.
I've been
what
begging.
more can we do?
Week in, week out.
What do you want from us? Good night.
Better shows.
Are you not entertained?
Well, neither are we, but we still do it, damn it. Can I?
Our next show's going to have so much pulp, it gets stuck between your teeth.
That's right. Clockwork Orange, now with extra pulp.
Oh, man,
for
shadow
that one.
puppets.
You want the
That's
shadow puppets, okay.
ridiculous, yes. It's so goofy! 800. Holy. I have nothing to say to you, Nigerian prince.
Purple Rain, yeah.
Huh?
The Nigerian prince. Purple Rain, yes. Yes, Purple Rain.
Hello.
That's great.
Hello, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Three Geeky Dads. Very cool show like that was. All right.
Righty.
Good.
Let the hate flow. Ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Do it up.
Hey guys, how does Lamont Cranston entertain his guests?
I don't know.
Oh.
With shadow puppets.
Because he can do that.
What other way?
Tonight we are kicking off our Fantasy February with the... I'm going to do that again. Tonight we are kicking off our Fantasy February with the first of 4 movies set in the world of cheap paperbacks and 10-cent magazines. This year we are leaving the worlds of swords and sorcery behind for a fantasy tale set in urban... holy fuck.
Read much?
Urban fantasy.
What are
Right.
you fucking stroking out over there?
I'm stroking out. What did I
Crikey.
write here?
Thinking about a second.
You know, fantasies and urban
Okay,
developments.
thank you. Let's try that again.
In your Mead 5-star notebook? Shout out to Mead.
It promised me 5 stars, man, but the writing is not.
He can put 2 subjects.
Yeah, so this year... Shut up.
Sorry.
All right. Okay. This year, we're leaving the world of swords and sorcery behind.
Sex puppet.
Sex puppets. Keep your sex puppet in your shorts.
Hello, puppet.
I don't even realize that.
Hello,
Maybe I
puppet.
am having a stroke. Somebody else take over.
Keep your sex puppet in your pocket.
We'll give it to Brian.
Brian.
Tonight, as Mark mentioned, we are kicking off Fantasy February. What? Why? Why is
don't
it
know.
funny?
He laughed, so I laughed.
Okay.
I was thinking about it again.
I behaved.
Yeah.
Sorry.
As the film opens, Cranston has become the evil and corrupt Yin Ko, a brutal Mongolian warlord and opium smuggler. Yin Ko was kidnapped by agents of the mysterious holy man Tulku, who knew that the warlord was really Lamont Cranston of New York. Tulku was determined to reform Cranston, noting that since he knew the evil... Are you guys hearing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the fridge.
Oh.
Oh.
It's not the ice maker. It's the actual
I did
fridge.
forget to shut that off.
I turned it
Did
off.
you? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
I was over there when
It's
I
the
was...
shadow.
All right.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So, sorry. Manager's
No,
doing
I'm
this-
sorry.
No,
I
it's okay.
interrupted. I'm so excited.
I got to start putting breaks in here. So like
You're doing a great
moments
job.
where we're going to talk. Manages to wound the shadow, who in turn manages to escape a would-be watery grave.
Sex puppet.
Sex puppet.